Welcome back, players, to the Seas of Rashadon. I'm your dungeon master. Where we last left off our heroes, they had just cleared out their mine from the expedition, uh, managed to net a couple of very valuable shells along the way, uh, and now we come back to the island. So, like I asked you all previously, think about what you're going to be doing on downtime. Because about a month has passed since the last time we gathered together around the table. So, who wants to go first?
I guess I will.
Okay.
Kill.
Yeah,
Kills
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
pretty much after confrontation in the cave. They pretty much after that got cleaned up and went to the ship to use the teleportation portal to head to the Elven Tram, but meant
Well,
to
you didn't need to use the ship for that, and
was
Captain Gammon disappeared on a little bit of a soul-searching journey.
oh, so there's one on the island as well.
Yes, there is one in the manor.
Okay. Kill uses that one. I thought there was only the one on the ship. Okay.
No, there's more than one.
Okay. Kill uses one manner as to that of the Elven Triumphant and pretty much does some prior to that of Helm, and also make sure the grounds around that of the Meadow Strider estate are still all free of what they encountered a few months ago. When they
Well, you're in luck, and there have been no reports of Unsully Fae appearances. The grounds have been mostly well established. Your mother did increase patrols around her estates, and the same with your wife's mother. She also increased patrols around her estates, but luckily, nothing has happened out of the normal.
all right.
Roll a religion check for me.
Religion, Roger. Religion.
While you did pray to Helm, you didn't really get much from him.
Mm-hmm.
He's still angry about,
Nope, he doesn't even know if he's angry or not. Didn't get any real messages from him.
Pretty much the line was busy and lots of chatter between other patrons and shit.
Probably.
the number
Again,
you've dialed is no longer in service.
No, that's it.
While Helm is a very powerful deity, he's not that powerful in the Elven Triumphant. Not really well worshipped there. There's other deities that get more patronage there.
Mm.
Like I said, you are an anomaly, but not like a bad one.
And upon pretty much doing some prayers to Helm and such, and patrolling both Elm Church Estate to make sure there's no dark fae and such. It would probably just also probably also venture into town now and then to probably do some shopping or window shopping, probably more like it.
Okay. I need you to roll a percentile for me. And then pick high or low.
I'm so happy.
I'm gonna roll a d10 first to see. Low.
I said roll a percentile. There you go. All right, so you chose low. All right. Norel's pregnant.
Makes you wonder what the high percentile was.
Wait, Tristan's been on campaign for a while.
Yeah, he's been around the Metastrider estate for he spent some time there. He did go back, and he did consummate marriage a couple times.
What's the gestation period on a centaur?
I just said she's pregnant. I never said how far along she is.
I guess Kill will probably be contemplating on will it be a boy or will it be a girl? And
How much child support is it going to be?
Well, he's married, so didn't really have to pay child support.
Yet.
so I guess he'd probably also be window shopping for probably stuff for that of a child.
Yeah, let's say you head to a carpenter and you're like, can I get like a corral, a little baby corral?
How big? A couple acres.
I mean, it doesn't need to be that big, but just something for a infant. Centaur children are more closer to the equine side than they are human side, so there's no that extensive gestation period of I am a baby burrito and can't move along for myself.
I is
Mhm.
human larva till the age of like 4.
Yeah, no, centaur are pretty much born.
So it's like a
They
horse
can
where
walk
they
around on
stand up
their
the
own.
same date.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, they can stand on the same day they're born.
It's just we grow up
And
at
on
the
the
same.
second day, they're already chain smoking and drinking and saying everything was better than, or a lot worse than it used to be when they were younger.
hmm but yes, yeah, there is a new member of your family on the way.
There's a baby, Mr. Horsey.
No, one day it will snap, and this is player to player.
Yep, I'm just kind of hoping it'll go towards Mav because he has more shit.
The shit list grows.
He can snap more than once.
But yeah, no. Uh, when your mother is informed of the news, she is ecstatic and she is so happy. She's very much. You notice you caught her a couple of nights while you were staying back at home. Because mostly you live at the Meadow Strider estate. You don't live back in the Elm Charger estate.
But depending on where I patrol, I stay
Yeah,
at.
no, you can travel in between the two lands. It's just your bed that you should be sleeping in is in Meadow Strider.
Mm,
Uh, but no, Narelle is like you just noticed one morning that she wasn't feeling very well, and she went to the local doctor, and they're like, "Congratulations, you are pregnant."
With a magical ultrasound.
It's more of like magical. Yeah, let's go with magical ultrasound. Uh, but yes, your mother is ecstatic. You did notice her one, like in passing. She's just like you heard her whispering, just like, "I hope it's a girl. I hope it's a girl. I hope it's a girl."
and Kel's just thinking to himself, he really doesn't, probably wouldn't really care if it's a boy or a girl as long as it's healthy.
Yeah, but
But Kill would also probably check up on his sister, even and probably just making sure, and probably keeping his helmet close by just in case if she chucks something up at him.
Just in case of accidental throwing objects.
Yeah, pretty much.
you managed to go back down to the forge, and you find your sister down there. She's working on some new horseshoes for some of your the knights under your mother's name. Uh, it's like, oh look, if it isn't the asshole himself.
I thought after a month you wouldn't be sore over that.
Once a cock blocker, always a cock blocker.
After hearing that, he just looks at this guy and goes, and thinks to himself, I probably should have done that last night. Damn it.
Look, I love you, brother. I truly do. But I am my own woman. I can choose who I want to sleep with. It's not your place to say.
Yes, but still, as your brother, it is also one of my duties to make sure you are looked after.
Ugh. I guess you're right. Come here, you big old bastard. And she gives you a hug.
He returns the favor, returns a hug, just as strong as she does.
As she goes away from the hug, she does punch you in the ribs.
I guess I deserve that
And
one.
next time, mind your own fucking business. How's the wifey doing, by the way?
Haven't you noticed Mother acting a little, well, ecstatic?
I want you to think the last time Mother came down to the forge to visit me.
He kind of rolls up his eyes again and goes, yeah, true.
Exactly. So, again, I ask, how's the wifey doing?
She's good. And we're expecting child.
You watch as she drops the hammer. So you're having a brat of your own.
I wouldn't say it would be a brat, but still rubbing the
Oh,
sword.
come now, brother. You remember all the trouble we used to give mother and father?
Well, I remember taking most of the blame.
Well, that was your fault, because you had to be the goody two-shoes and go talk to Mom every time we went run off into the woods.
Some of those times we could have gotten killed. I don't remember some of
But
those
we
times.
didn't, and that's life experience.
Yes, but I remember back then the fucking Dark Favor being more and more uppity.
The Dark Fae, they're always uppity. It's kind of their thing to try and murder and kill and steal. That's what they do. Just remember,
Pause for a second.
What a
we've been
bunch of
living
fucking Neds.
we've been living since before the Dark Fae tried to kill us off, and we've been living since. I'm not worried about any Dark Fae, and trust me, if anyone managed to sneak their way in here, yeah, they'd be getting a worse treatment than you.
Well, they put a switch over to someone else. I gotta go do something.
All right, and we will leave Kill there. Who would like to do their downtime next?
Well, said Congo's probably just been exploring the island, make sure nothing else wants to make people disappear.
And flexing and making more friends with the people.
All right, you've been patrolling your way around the island. So far, most of the assets that you had requested getting built have all been built up. You saw the shrine that Captain Gammon and Kill had requested is up and running. It's pretty empty because there's no one to kind of maintain the place. Sometimes Gammon will come by and like clean up the place, and the villagers help to keep it clean too. But it's pretty empty and sullen most of the time. Uh, 1 second. There we go. My notes. The mill is working up fine. You're producing some decent amounts of grain, like processed grain now, instead of just
Ooh.
raw bushels that you were. Uh, you do notice Morgana has been spending some time when she's not helping out with most of the day-to-day affairs. She spends some time in the herbalism building, Um, she managed to find a couple of different herbs and things like that, um, to kind of start trying to work on making some potions, but nothing much just yet. She's still working on it. She does have a couple growing in the small little greenhouse area that they had in there to try and help increase her stock of goods. The tavern is lively every single night. You see most of the villagers and the Yanti. This seems to be the ultimate mixing ground. You actually have been noticing that the villagers or the regular humans and the Yanti have been getting along very well. The Yanti have been putting most of their strength and skills into helping to keep the fields going, and it's paid dividends. The crops are coming in. Been a lot more help that you've had these extra citizens working the land.
Good.
Anyone in particular you want to talk to?
I, I don't really know what I would say, anyways.
You can just go to people and ask how are things doing.
You can check on one of your wonderful friends, the Minotaurs, and I don't know, have fun with the Lizard Queen.
Remember, there's also the de facto mayor, the chieftain.
Go talk to Goliath lady.
Okay. Um,
Do you like
Unfortunately, she
the
is not available right now because she's out with Gammon on the ship.
That's fine.
number you've dialed is currently not in service?
And go see how the chieftain slash impromptu mayor wielder of the cards is doing.
You make your way into town and you ask around, asking where he is. Did we ever give him a name?
I think you had him a name. Can't really.
Who?
The
The
chieftain.
chieftain. Did we ever give him a name?
I think we just always call him Chieftain.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's going to be an interesting conversation.
All right.
What's your name, Chieftain? Yeah, what's your name, Chieftain?
People called me chieftain so long I forgot it. So it's just chieftain.
I'm just used to being called Chief, as is my name. All right, so you make your way over to the you make your way over to the chieftain. He's actually out on the fields helping the people start planting the next harvest. Oh, Mr. Congo, it's good to see you. How can I help you today?
I was just making sure there were no troubles.
Hmm. I mean, other than people getting occasionally rowdy at the tavern, when the firewater gets into people, they start to get a little antsy. Sometimes people get handsy, but we have been doing our best to make sure that the peace is maintained.
So no hanky panky.
Well, that is good.
Mm. How about yourself? It's been a while since I've spoken with you.
A little bored. Nothing has happened in a month.
You have a wandering soul, Mr. Congo. Idleness does not suit you well.
Mm.
You remind me of myself when I was younger. All I wanted to do was look out at the sea and knowing that there was more out there beyond the endless water. I wanted to travel myself, but duty to my people kept me closer to home.
His eyes will grow a little distance as he remembers home a little bit. Yes, I could see that.
But we do what duty demands of us, whether we do not like it or not. Our people do come first.
Yes. His voice is kind of solemn as he says that.
Um, are you all right, Mr. Congo?
Yes, you just remind me of things that happened before now.
Hmm. Well, I am not one to pry, but if you need a ear to listen to, I am here to assist.
Well, thank you for that, Chief.
You don't know my name, do you?
No. Everyone always just seems to call you Chief.
Why does no one ever know my name? I have a name, and a crow flies by and scratches over, so no one can hear what his name is.
Your
No,
name is Crow Noise?
um, no, my name is Sotek.
Sounds very Aztec.
Yes, yes, it is.
Ah, Sotek it is then.
Well, Pongal, it is nice to meet you. And he
He,
holds out his hand.
he grasped it firmly with a solid shake. I will continue a patrol now. We don't need another dwarf going missing or lest anyone else.
A dwarf going missing?
Well, I assumed he knew about the.
No.
I didn't finish last session.
No,
I had to
yeah.
leave early last session.
Yeah, did not. The regular people don't know about that.
Well, he's the mayor.
And he did not, and he was not informed that there was a murder or there was a death up in the hills. No
Oh,
one told him this.
This is what
I didn't
happens
even
when
know
I
the
forget
dwarf
to
was
do a death
dead.
certificate.
I didn't even know the dwarf was dead. So,
Yeah, no, the dwarf is dead.
oh, woo. Should probably ask them to fill it in about that one. Oh well, that's
Wait,
what makes it fun.
A dwarf died? So the prospector you sent into the mines is dead.
Yes.
He got num-nummed.
What killed him?
Ugh.
I don't know what killed him.
Nature is a cruel beast.
Yes, but that is why I've taken it upon myself to do a little more patrolling, at least when I'm not away from the island.
Mm. Do you think we should establish a watch?
Well, the nice thing with being on an island, once you deal with the initial problems, you usually don't have more.
Mm.
But it
But
never hurts to be safe.
you said you said he died in the mine or the expedition up into the mountain. Should we be worried about other creatures?
Well, I will go look first. As far as I know, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Mm. As you say. I do think we should establish a patrol of some sorts. I know some of the braves would happily volunteer.
By all means, I will not stop them. They
Mm.
need the practice.
I guess I will bring up. We would need new supplies to arm the men. I'll bring it up at the next council meeting. I will see you there.
Wait,
Thank
there's a
you.
council
Shoto.
meeting under us?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
there is. There's a council meeting. Pretty much, it's just as of right now, it's just Golemov, Morgana, and Chief Sotek.
Oh,
Yeah, they do gather and talk about things and make sure things are going okay.
Now
I
that
just
the
kind of
party's
figured that
grown,
like
kind of-
everyone talked to Mr. Chiefty Man, and Mr. Chiefty Man went to Big Scary Elephant Man, and stuff happened.
No,
Well,
Morgana's still
mostly
kind of-
they go to Morgana.
Yeah.
Morgana is
She is
our
steward.
steward.
Yeah, she acts in your place when y'all aren't around. But when y'all are around, y'all most certainly are like encouraged to sit down at these meetings and discuss things.
Have we?
You've done so once.
Me specifically, or is it the party one?
The whole party once. You've done once. That's where the people were like wanting a tavern before you picked up the
Oh.
Yanti.
In which we have not got the materials built. Got the people.
Oh, it's built.
It's built.
Tavern's built.
You missed the bit where he was talking
Yeah,
about
the tavern has been built. All the buildings are currently built. Golema or Congo was around patrolling,
Mm.
looking at all the new things.
Well, Congo will direct his patrol towards the mountain.
Okay. It's a pretty long trek. It takes you most of the day to get up there. You do notice there's the main cave that you guys went into, but there are more caves.
He wants to go up it.
Oh, all the way up the mountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have
It
great vision or
takes you
anything.
most of the day and into the evening to get all the way to the top of the mountain. It is a fairly large mountain. Uh, you do notice some extra side caves on your way. Do a what would this roll be?
Perception.
Nature. Do a nature check for me.
Once I find it.
16.
Judging by what you've been noticing and your time spent in the Earthen, or your time spent in the Earthen Monarchy, you know that this mountain is a dormant or is an old volcano. You haven't been noticing any of the signs that it is still active. And once you get to the top, you notice like the caldera is filled in. So there's no magma.
Okay.
But once you make it to the top, you do see a beautiful sight. It is, you can see the stars perfectly and everything else at the top of the mountain. You can see most of the island. You see some of the houses. Most of the lights are out. A couple are on. The tavern is lively. You can see by the lights from the top.
Torchlight. Sweet.
But you look out and you see the piece of land that you helped build.
He likes the view. He does. Yeah. He makes it a note upon himself to at least tell Golemov about the dormant volcano.
Okay.
And maybe another note to have parties search the other caves.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
We'll let someone else. We'll let the waifu army man.
All right. All right. We're going to jump back in time during the day a little bit. And Kai, what are you doing?
Wait, was I allowed? Like, I'm my
Yeah,
character
nil.
wise.
Nil.
I'm allowed with the waifu army.
Is that what you're wanting to do?
Basically, I'm just doing creative friends while I'm bored.
Okay. Um, you still have pretty much the schematics that you used to make the waifu bot Mark One with you.
I'm just
Um,
making different other fishes now. I got a cat girl, and just keep going.
well, you're mostly working on the designs for these. You're going to need the materials to make more of these things.
How much money do I got currently in my pocket?
Well, it's more of not money. You're going to need the materials to build them.
Yeah,
And
which I'll need money to buy the materials.
yeah, but what would you like to do with all these random waifus? Just keep them in the shed, which is not that much space.
No, well, they're all maids basically. So essentially, they're companions and maids because honestly, I don't like chores.
Mm. All right.
So they roughly take care of me, and it's someone to kind of talk to. Mind you, half of them can't talk yet. Working on that.
Yeah, you've got the designs of a different array. You've came with the designs of like some fox girls, some dog girls, some cat girls, some more iterations of waifu, some bird girls. You even, in a stroke of genius, roll a check for me. Roll an intelligence, Arcana. Roll an Arcana. This is kind of dealing with magic.
Just a normal arcana.
Yeah, just roll an Arcana for me. Yes, in a stroke of genius, you even have the design specs to make an almost realistic human.
What, did I just get a hold of some rubber and magically made
Well,
something that's
well,
really close to skin?
well, no,
Terminator style?
you've got the designs for these. So I'm gonna say you have designs for 4 different maids that you have sketched out. You just right now you just need to accrue the materials to build them. It's gonna take some iron, uh, which luckily you do have iron coming out of the mine. Second, it starts getting smelted up. Uh, for this the more advanced one, the actual human looking one, and you can even probably make it speak as well in a non robotic monotone as well. That one's going to take a little bit more advanced resources, but you've got the design specs for what was it, 4 or 5? Let's see.
He said 4 or 5.
Yeah, 5 maids that you can make.
Plus waifu bot. Waifu
Hmm.
bot, I guess, will become a head maid?
I
So,
mean, Waifubot is your actual companion. You
yeah.
can't make
It-
any to the same capabilities of
no, they're basically just,
their automatons.
well, they're maids. Their basic job is do chores so I don't have to.
Well, their type of robot, quote unquote,
Yeah.
that you'd be making, they'd be automatons.
Yeah.
Except for one that you can actually make a pretty much the fantasy equivalent of an android.
I give it a trucker hat.
You can put whatever you want on this thing. But around about, I say, if we were going to put the price and materials, let's say 1,200 for the full batch.
Not bad price.
No, not my price. I'm gonna say 1,200 because they're nowhere near as advanced as waifu bots, so they
Which
don't have
type?
combat capabilities at all.
In gold pieces or silvers?
Hmm.
Gold.
Gold, silvers, or platinums?
Gold, gold. It's 1,200
What's
gold.
what's waifu bot counted as?
Priceless.
Use a priceless
Because at
combat.
that point, it makes it 240 gold per unit.
Suffice to say, a piece of your soul is in waifu bot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there wasn't very much to share though.
Oh no, you still have a soul. Everything has a soul.
Ah, fuck, I
Yeah,
just don't have
contemplate
time
that
for
when you want to go and murder a hobo. Everything has a soul.
Oh, I'd like to make them, but I don't have them.
Well, I mean, it's something you can always bring up. Be like, hey, I've got an idea for some projects.
Oh, there goes my harem I was working on.
Well, I mean, you could still make it. It's just going to take time and money.
I mean,
I don't have the money.
right.
Again, you always have a secondary resource of money.
I highly doubt that
Again,
Elm would let me.
you have to bring it up at a little council meeting. You know, those council meetings that you're supposed to be attending when y'all
Mhm.
aren't sailing at sea and doing other odd jobs. You know, that island that you're running.
That we're supposed to be running.
When was the
Also,
last
there's that
meeting
list
we were
of
supposed to
laws
be
you
in?
have that you wanted to kind of in place.
But you'd have to also bring them up to a meeting to have them.
Yeah.
Oh, those things. Oh, I forgot about those. Those things have been shelved for almost half a year.
Hey, you brought it up. I never forgot. I just haven't had the time. Again, that's just giving extra things to make the game, to make this world seem more lived in than a video game.
Mm-hmm.
True enough.
But yeah,
When was the last council meeting we ever did?
Just
you asked Morgana about it, and there's one coming up here soon. Now that you all guys are around, because she's tired of being like knee deep in paperwork and trying to manage the herbalism building.
yeah.
But
Out
roll a
of, out of
perception.
character. Out of
Mhm.
character wise, is the council meeting something we need all available people here at once to do?
I mean, y'all could. I would prefer that you were all there for the council meetings. Think of it as Dragon Age Inquisition. When you kind of call the little
War
meeting
council.
as the little war council, everybody who is of significance shows up. Pretty much, I would just count the main party members that are active constantly as the main council members. So that would probably be the original, what,
5
5? Yeah.
plus the DM
There's
character.
4 of us.
Well, Golemov is the original 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Yeah.
technically all here.
Yes, you are.
The most consistent people are the originals.
Well, one of us can't ever leave without killing the session.
Yeah.
Yay.
He is eternally slaved for eternal torment.
Hence why Golemov is a tortured character.
He's a tortured
Which
soul.
is
He wants no part of anything we do anymore. He's just there.
Oh, well, no.
He's like Garterbelt and Penny and Stocking.
why do we
I'm so
bring them
tired of
into
your
this?
shit.
Why did we
That-
bring them into this? We know what would happen.
Well, I
yeah,
mean, there's
that's
nothing to
basically what
stop Kai
Golem
from
was.
making 2 angel-ish.
I actually had
Yeah.
plans on one of those. When I thought up the idea, I was literally just going to start running through different waifu tropes.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you could just make an entire main
Yeah.
service of just every single anime and cartoon waifu-esque character.
We're gonna have a
Not
shit ton of
stopping you.
flugels. We're gonna have a shit ton of flugels.
uh, but no.
You want me to roll something before this?
Yes, roll a perception check for me.
What am I trying to like? What was the thing before the perception?
It's about your shed. Roll a perception.
Is my shed falling down?
You've noticed your tools have been over the couple of days. You've noticed like you would like go out to go and eat at the manor and all that kind of stuff. And when you come back a couple of times, it seems someone has been moving your tools around.
Huh. I need to look at something and try to figure out how I get to that.
If Kill was there, he would know who it is, but I'm not seeing.
I'm expecting you to, but I think I do have stuff for this specifically, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere part of the artificer class I could make something that would probably help. Also, if I cared to, I could also just, use arcane lock on everything.
Or you can do investigation to try and find out who's messing with your stuff.
Like that's an option.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would take
Yes.
investigation.
There's an investigation
I was
skill.
just going to see if I could make a little tinky thing that, like a trail camera. That's where mine
Do you
went
want to
to.
try and? You know what? I'll say okay. If roll an Arcana to see if you can cobble together some stuff to make a pseudo recorder. You managed to cobble together some scrap pieces and things like that, and you somehow MacGuffin your way. You MacGyver your way into making a camera to record the going-ons in your shed. Would you like to know what has been going on?
Yes, please.
You notice on camera Damon coming in and messing with your tools.
Which one's that one?
That's
The little
Morgana's
kid.
son.
Oh, that's the tiny thing. Okay. Morgana's
Only one who
human,
went
right?
up to-
Morgana is human.
So it's a human larva
Mm-hmm.
of what age? Is he like 5?
Yeah, about 5 or 6.
Is he just like picking up and playing with them?
Yeah, you actually notice that he's like trying to like act like he's building things with the tools.
So what, he just grabs a hammer, walks up to a hunk of wood, and like thwap, thwap, thwap.
Well, it's more of like he's a little bit more well actually he's a little bit more than 6. Let's say he's around 7, 8 years old. Uh he's more of like trying to emulate things that you do when you're tinkering.
Ah,
Like you even notice he like one day he brought in a small wooden figurine and he was starting to tinker with the tools to like try and make something. It seems like he's almost trying to make an automaton of his own with it.
so he's also trying to make a friend. A few more years and he'll be able to have his own inflate a friend. I'm trying to remember what mine and Morgana's relationship is. I vaguely remember something that she was scared of me at one point, something like that.
She was as I've said, tieflings are highly prevalent in the Dominion, and they very much are the aristocracy almost there. So she was more deferent to you, like trying not to anger you when you first encountered her. She has been very friendly and approachable to you whenever you've walked past her in the manor.
But it's more of like she still sees me as someone as
No,
above
she
her.
sees you as well. You are distant, so you've never like really interacted with her at any long period of time. But
Except for the main party, I'm like that for everyone. My
yeah,
charisma
and so
sucks, and I like to picture
but
I'm just a shut in.
but she's been very polite to you every time you talk to her, and she's not like as like apprehensive as she was when you first met her. She's more gotten used to you, and you assume that she's just like, yep, she gives me my space. That is correct.
Whereas Kill is very very open with most of the characters and tries to know them a little bit more than just
Mm-hmm.
acquaintances.
Yeah, she's an acquaintance. She's not a friend. You're still her boss. So you're like the boss that comes in, goes to work, and then leaves.
I come in, do what I do,
Boss
and
shave
fuck
your
off.
head.
Yeah, you are that boss.
I'm that boss in real life, actually, right now. So
Whereas kill is the I want to know those around me before I truly work with them.
Yes, but yeah, you've noticed the Damon has been coming in. He's been tinkering with your tools. Uh, he looks like he tries to put them back where he's supposed to, but he is a child, so he isn't 100% accurate. Like he put one of your spanners in the wrong slot.
that's why I can't find the 10 mil.
Yeah, he puts the sockets in the wrong order. Like
And the
not
10
like
mil's rolled under a table somewhere in the back corner, and I'm like, where the fuck is it?
yeah. Like he like gets the 10 and 12 mixed in position.
Actually, I'd be more surprised if you got it more mixed up with a quarter inch because they're identical. Like if
This
you go
world
for
works.
size,
Yeah.
for size wise, if you look at them, just the sock without looking at the number, they're the exact same size.
Yeah, I know. I have metric tools for one particular component on my platform.
Yeah.
Continue on.
Yep.
So he's been playing with the tools. He looks like he wants to make an automaton. I don't do good with tiny larva creatures.
What you're saying is you need kill.
Yeah, Mr. Fodder to be. It's
You
either
don't
him
know that
or
yet. You don't know that yet.
Yeah, he's been gone
uh,
pretty much this entire time. You saw him
um,
go into the transportation circle. He had a couple of his supplies with him, and he has been gone this entire time.
is Morgana around?
Morgana is around. She is currently going over some paperwork in the manor.
Just like in a random room somewhere? Like, would she be easily to find, or is she like locked away in some kind of office that I have to kind of stumble around to try to find?
You know where the office is. It would be technically a library, but you don't have many books stocked in it.
You know, kill has used it now and then to help Morgana.
Yeah. Golemov usually resides there when you need to go and talk to him about anything. He's usually in the library, but Morgana uses the desk that you guys kind of were like, "Hey,
I
thanks for
mean,
doing all this paperwork for us. Here's something to make it a little easier." Instead of using the dining room table. That was a Golemov expense. He was like, she needs a desk. So you don't have to worry about taking any money out of your income for a desk. Golemov just bought her one.
went to the local fantasy IKEA.
It's a little bit better than IKEA.
It's like
Was it
place
like
that the
the?
people of higher authority go to for their like
Oh,
thrones
so it's
and
like a fancy like Oval
It's
Office
like an
style thing.
actual administration desk, yes. It's got shelves and everything.
Okay. So
they can pretty much about fit a person in it.
Built-in candle holder.
Inkwell. Oh,
Yeah. It's a nice
fancy,
desk. You've seen it a
fancy
couple
leather
times. You're
trims.
like, man, I could use one of these.
Damn, the amount of waifus I could fit on this. Uh, so I would make my way to said study, library, educational room.
Yeah. You notice she's in there. She's going over some paperwork and stuff. As you walk in, she's like, "Oh, Miss Nelismaril, it's good to see you. How can I help you?"
No, it's fine. You're mini human. thing. I've out of character. Keep in mind, my character has really shit charisma.
Yeah, I know. You
It's not
played as
really
a
good.
socially awkward person, so yeah, I get you. Continue.
Your mini human thing that you have, Damon.
Oh yes. Has he done something?
Not as such. I've noticed a few of my tools have been moved around in the shadow back, so I
You
set
watch
up
as
a.
she gets kind of furious at that. I told him to stay. I apologize, Miss Nil. I told him to stay out of other people's things, especially when they are not around. Uh, I will go and find him and get him to apologize this instant.
Oh no, it's fine, but he just put them back. I am kind of interested that he is taking any kind of liking to the random assortment of tools I have laying around. Not many people like tinkering.
Well, what do you mean interest?
Does the mini human have a wooden, so out of character? You said he had like a wooden doll kind of thing,
It was like it looked like a wooden, some type of quadrupedal creature.
like one of those like pull toys kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's not more. It's just more of a wooden figurine. It's nothing like
Trinket.
advanced or anything like that. No
Yeah,
wheels
I
or
was
anything.
wondering if it was
Yeah,
like an animal or if it was like one of those like drawing pose
it
figures.
looked like an animal, but you weren't sure exactly what it was.
Okay. Uh, it looks like he's been trying to use the tools on what looks like a wooden animal toy he has.
Oh, well, yes, he has a small wolf toy that he. It was a. You watch as she kind of gets a little nervous. It was a gift when he was a baby. Um, what was he trying to do to it exactly?
It was kind of hard to tell, but it looks like he's trying to make something akin to WaifuBot. You turn around and point at the little thing behind me that is WaifuBot.
You watch as she bows her head.
Yeah, I just assume WaifuBot's basically always behind me and a little bit to the left, like
She
any
follows you
grenade.
pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much your bodyguard.
it's what she's there for.
Flash, I'm going to clean up the mess.
Slash, I will use my body to block. I should
Slash
have gave her a
has
darkness personality.
uh, continue.
Yeah,
Uh, so do you think he's interested in becoming a I'm sorry, I don't know what your profession is.
broadly speaking, I would be a artificer.
Hmm. I've heard of them. I didn't know you were a practitioner of the arts. Um, I guess that explains the walking golem behind you. I always did wonder about that. Um, but um, w- again, I apologize deeply about Damon. He is a child, and you know, children like to wander. Um, I tell him to usually stay within the confines of the manor when I'm at work, but it's difficult to keep track of him and manage most of the affairs at the same time. Guys?
Um,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just making sure I didn't cut out.
Nope.
But yeah, that's what she was saying.
okay. To that, I'm not really upset that he come out to the magical shed. I would exercise more caution when entering because there's lots of things that are not mini human friendly.
Um, I understand. I will instruct him not to. The next time he chooses to come to your workshop, to first ask your permission, and he will only go there when you are present.
That's perfectly fine with me. If he wants to learn as well a little of what I do, I can show him bits and pieces, but I'm not going to show him anything that's I wouldn't think would fit for a human.
Um, are you offering to teach him?
I can teach him a little. I don't know how much or if he wants to stay. I'm not going to force him to stick there if he doesn't want to be there.
Well, Miss Snill, if you want my honest opinion, I think he probably is interested in. Well, he does ask about what do you call her, waifu bot? A lot. I think he genuinely is interested in your arts, and if you're willing to take him under your wing, I see no problem with it. Just as you have stated, make sure he doesn't do anything unsafe. If that is agreeable with you.
No, that's perfectly fine. As long as you don't have any other education plans for him, he is your mini human.
Well, I am coaching him on basic reading and writing and arithmetic, but beyond that, I have no restrictions on him. He usually goes and plays with the other Yanti children um, out in the fields, and that's at least where I thought he was.
Kill when he's on the island will also teach him a few things of swordplay, now and then.
Uh, that's if you can find Damon.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
So I've essentially picked up a mini apprentice for this bit.
you do have an apprentice in the name of Damon.
Yay, mini human larva.
Yep.
Mentor trait gained.
I told you we were gonna force you to have some friends if we didn't have to make them.
Damn, there goes my build a bitch.
Hey, but now you've got a second pair of hands. That's sentient.
Mhm.
He can help me build bitches faster.
I
It's all
mean,
about the
yes.
efficiency. He can get in those tiny little places I can't.
Oh
You're
God.
pretty tiny already, so
He's gonna be a master by the time he's 12.
isn't he like 11?
He's
7.
8
I'd
right
say
now.
that's about one day of things. You unless you had anything else to talk with Morgana about.
Um,
Sorry about the dog barking, by the way.
It's fine.
fuck, I just had a thought and I. So you'd said she originally came from the place where the tieflings come from.
Yep, the Dominion of Krull.
And beforehand, obviously I would have noticed that initial standoffishness. Besides
Mhm.
that, is there anything else I would have noticed from her?
Other than you noticed when she was talking about the toy that he was tinkering with, she got a little off
Defendants.
put. Yeah.
Like she was scared about the toy, or were behind the
It
toy?
seemed like the toy had some significance of some kind, but you're not exactly sure what. You know it's a gift because she said it was a gift.
Uh, I'll leave the toy for now. That'll probably pop up later in this little apprenticeship arc thing. I'd like to ask a little bit more about the Dominion.
Okay, gone ahead.
So she's from the Dominion. I'd like to ask more, like, what is it really like there? Because I've never been. I grew up in the Aspen City States.
Well, it it is very different from the city states. It's it has its own laws and orders. Mostly people of your persuasion are the people who hold the most power in the Dominion. It is very much a depending on how much power one has, depends on how free you really are. They claim that everyone is free, but freedom without power is an empty dream. Those who do have power live quite comfortably and are able to pursue whatever they choose to, which is made, I would guess, from what I have experienced, at least living in the city states, it is very much made the magical arts there are highly advanced, and anyone can pursue them. There's no set structures that says no one can, but uh, what's the best way to describe it? If one is able to, if you have the money or the power and the influence, you can set your children up for the best standpoint in life. Uh, some of the best schools and everything else require at least some notoriety of someone's family's name. Uh, if you do not have any of those things, though, there is a basic education system in place for everyone, but the average schooling of the normal citizenry is not that advanced. Um, I was fortunate enough that my family were a decent set of merchants, so I was able to get a good enough education to set myself up to work for a noble, which did not work out as well as I had hoped it would. And that's where I ended up working for you all. But it's not a bad place, not truly. It's just with power can come a certain level of arrogance that feels that one is owed more just because of who they are.
Yeah, I've seen that in the States quite a bit.
You've
I didn't
also
live.
noticed that in the Ellen Drummond too. Just
Oh, they're
minor.
knife-eared pricks. It's expected.
um, but I didn't live in the city states long, so. But from what I experienced, it is a little bit. It was better in its own way. It was a bit more free. But I'd have to say that this is probably the best place I've lived so far in my life.
Thank you for the information. With one extra thing
Ah, yes.
is one quick check here. So out of character-wise, I've seen other tieflings in the city states, like they are other places, right?
Very rarely. Like, think about like 1% of the population.
Yeah, but
With
they
the
are
pass.
there. They're
Yeah,
not like secluded off in some.
no, 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 no.
Okay. I'd like to ask her the meaning of one word I've heard from the few tieflings I have seen.
Hmm.
When they've looked at me, I've heard a few of them say albinus.
Uh, it
Which
means
I don't really know what it is.
it means it is highly rare, but it does happen occasionally. And albinus can happen in any particular people. If it were to happen in my species, in my people, we usually would have blonde white hair, as you do, um, and pink eyes. It it's just a birth that happens occasionally. Usually, though, albinists are do not be alarmed, but they are usually murdered because of their lack of potential. It's better to not raise an unworthy child in some houses than to waste the time trying to make something of them.
Uh, the, so, what would they do if they found one that is grown up?
Well, you're your own person now. There's not much anyone would do to you. Are you trying to find your family by any chance?
To that end, I have no idea where to start.
I mean,
It'd be interesting to see whom, but I have no idea.
it's
I was originally orphaned on the step of the guild, so I have nothing that I could think of that would tie me to anything.
I mean, without at least almost a family sigil or anything, I'm sorry, Miss Nil. It would probably be almost impossible to find out who your parents are, even if they are alive.
So out of character question,
Mm-hmm.
tieflings are massively different between all appearances, correctly?
Oh, it depends on what their bloodline is. 100%. There's some that look way more demonic in appearance
Than what
than you
mine
do.
is.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like the baby's first demonic part.
You are like almost
You're in
you're
between.
almost human in appearance except for, the tail and the horns.
You're an in between, pretty much, of both
Yeah.
demonic and human.
Which what you're getting from what Morgana is saying is that bloodlines do mean a lot. in the Dominion. And powerful bloodlines usually cultivate more powerful members for their family. Power means everything there.
Yeah. Well, she mentioned the sigil. I'm just thinking, like, is there anything that I'd have that would match?
Not that you're aware of, but you could ask the guild.
Hmm.
But the magic floating bus isn't here.
The magic floating bus might have just arrived.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot poorer because I have a feeling I'll probably have to pay a bunch of money when I get back to the guild.
Again, I said that one guild master has been taken care of, and he does not reflect every single division of the guild.
Oh no, part of the guild's thing is that you pay membership fees.
That is true,
To which,
but it's not that expensive. And you haven't been using guild facilities, so the 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 fees are waived. It's like a monthly subscription that if you're not using it, it's not going to be. It's like subscribing for an MMO. Everything that you have is still there, but if you don't pay this monthly subscription, your account is locked.
Unless the Chinese gold farmers got to it.
Yeah, that too.
yeah.
I've had that happen. It's fucking annoying.
So my guild is Blizzard.
Let's continue on.
Kinda. But yeah, think of
Okay.
it as like if you pay your monthly dues, everything you have is reinstated. But if you haven't been using them, or you're not there and you're not paying for it, nothing bad's happening to you. But if you want to use guild facilities, you would have to pay your monthly due. They're actually pretty liberal about that. They're like, yeah, because I mean, a lot of members travel.
They also have facilities, let's say, their own estate.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually if you were higher up at like the masters level, you'd probably be constantly paying the dues because you would have facilities constantly maintained by the guild. That's kind of what comes in with the fee. At your level, the fee is not that expensive at all.
5
It's
gold
one.
apparently.
Was it? Did we say it was 5 gold?
I just clicked on the guild artisan thing and looked at the direct table.
Yeah, 5 gold.
I mean, that's not much in terms of what our coffers can pretty much hold.
Yeah, I mean, for you, because you're at journeyman status, you're not a master. Once you hit master status and like have your own facilities at the guild that you have maintained and all that kind of stuff, that's
Yeah.
when fees start to get a little bit more expensive. But at your level, it's just I use facilities.
You use someone else's facility to make stuff that you need.
Yep,
Machines do things.
yep.
We pay. Okay. Would it be possible to go and check on that?
It most certainly is.
Unless someone wants to do their own extra magic, whatever thing while this is sailing or whatever.
Um, well, I mean, Biren's pretty much the de facto Uber. He's the Uber pilot,
I mean,
I guess.
he's the only one that knows how to pilot a ship.
Yeah, he's
Well,
the only one with
effectively.
sailing knowledge. Yes,
We can
There
all
are
say it.
merchants, though, that come and go from the island.
that is true. You could also just send a letter and ask.
Mhm.
Do we actually have a postal system, or are we just, hey, you're
There
You
going
send
this
letter.
way?
You pretty much when the merchants come by, you send letters.
And there's probably also
That's how
people.
Morgana got the prospector to show up. She sent out basically a job request,
And
and
it got posted on a guild board of X guild.
or just random place like, hey, these people are looking for this job to be filled.
Mm-hmm.
Applicants
E-local
apply.
intern Centralink.
Yeah, the old Teamsters building.
Which one? So letter's an option. That's an option.
You can go there in person, or you can send a letter. It's up to you.
Part of me wants to say going in person would probably be better because if they do ask for the money, I'm not playing ping pong.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Well, you would have to. Your particular place that you were raised in is not Creatia, so you'd have to go to the other island that you were born and raised, or that, well, not born, but the island that you were, or the guild house that you were raised on. You do know that they usually keep guild members' effects, like in case someone is, has a family and dies on a mission or doing something, they can give the family.
There's like a wonderful vault somewhere where there's a bunch of shit that's left around.
Yes.
That's in orderly fashion with someone's name and.
I'm a highly recommend sending a letter, because then I can work on this little plot hook for you.
Why do I feel there was a nudge nudge?
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, poke, poke.
That was you getting poked with the plot stick.
Yep.
And also poked with a gun.
It's not just a gun. It's probably a whole mystery.
You'll get hit with the plot stick if you don't follow its advice.
There's a big black
Due to-
head totally doing
I've
sign
been
language.
legally recommended by my lawyers that this is a good option, and I'll be sending a letter.
All right. Morgana nods and she's like, I will send a letter to the Julian Guild requesting your personal effects. Is there anything else you need me to do?
Before the letter is sent, I would like to seal it.
Okay. Do you have a seal?
Yes, I do.
All right. Oh, yeah, you do have a guild seal, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm figuring that if it's going to be internal guild matters, it would need to be sealed by a guild member, and the best way to show it's from a guild member is with the guild seal.
Very true. God damn it, now I gotta make that seal too.
Or
Damn it.
or have a seal of a noble house or something.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
but
also
this
do
is an
that.
internal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is more for him, and yes, he is 100% correct that using his seal does give this message more, I hate this word, but clout. It gives it more clout.
It's not
Legitimacy.
like hey, by the way, it's like this is a formal request.
Yeah. It's almost giving it a letterhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a difference between sending a text and sending an actual physical word-pressed letter.
An invoice, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm basically sending a PO.
But yeah, you Morgana draws up the letter for you. She sets aside some of the paperwork that she's currently working on, and she draws up the letter for you and closes it up. And she brings out. She actually has a seal of her own.
And I'm guessing I have no idea what it is.
You probably would not know what this is. You could roll a history check, and it's going to be really difficult.
So history would disadvantage, or
Yeah, at a disadvantage, and it is going to be a high skill check.
yeah,
You have
Yeah.
no idea
yeah, I got
what
fucked.
this is. But it does look. It looks fancy. You're guessing it's probably from her merchant house that she's the daughter of.
Oh boy, that's a purr seal.
Yeah. But she brings out her wax stick, and she melts a little bit and drops a couple of drops on the letter, and she then passes it your way.
To which I just take the guild ring and press it down.
Yep. All right. I'll send this on the next available vessel. We also
Yeah.
have to pay the job fees, unfortunately, for the unfortunate death of the prospector.
Yeah. How bad did we do on that one?
Unfortunately, it was 100 gold of liability fees, but at least that's all we netted out with. But hopefully we can get the mine established. That would be beneficial. Help to cover some of our recurring costs. We haven't been paying the citizenry, and we haven't been taxing them either, which has been to our benefit, but people are starting to ask questions about pay. Not many of the Yanti, because they don't see it that way. They
Yeah.
haven't been asking for payment at all. It's more of the
Humans?
yes, the humans are asking for pay. But if we pay one, we have to pay the other. It would be unbecoming, at least I believe. Honestly, I'm not. We'll bring it up at the next council meeting. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right. If there's anything else, I'm going to move on to beer run, and then we'll be doing our first council meeting.
Cool. I need to go take a shit.
All right.
Some ideas will flow.
Yes. All right. Beer run, or Captain Gammon, more accurately. After the events in the mine, you decide to do a little bit of soul searching and doing some sailing.
Mm-hmm.
What happened while you were sailing?
So primarily, well, obviously the soul searching. We'll set that aside because the other party isn't here to conversate with, to converse with. But one of the things I decided to do was to put out some feelers and investigate the strange weapon sound that we heard the night that we were shipwrecked, because I've heard that noise before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the night when I was shipwrecked.
Yes.
So I'm curious to find out if I maybe got any rumors or leads on anything of that nature.
So you took a stop at a couple of docks, sailing around. You actually were luckily the
That
ship
I've been
was.
trading.
Yeah, you've been trading some of the island's goods around, trying to get the best price on. Uh, Thematically, you're getting the best price. We've already established the price for the goods. Uh, you and you've been putting out also word that hey, we also have our own produced beer and whiskey as well to sell. Just to let people know. You even took a couple of bottles with you to kind of taste test to see if you can like establish a, a set trade for it to
Mhm.
get some,
With any of the tavern local the area,
yeah,
other islands
exactly.
taverns and things like that. Yeah.
Um, but to your first question, and then we'll go to that one. Uh,
And I'm not meaning for you to necessarily have anything on the spot. I'm letting you know that that's a possible plot hook for
yeah.
my character. So
So you found out that you were lucky that you managed to find an old grizzly sailor who actually knew what you were talking about. Because most people were like, "Nope, never heard of that." Um, you found this old grizzly sailor, and let's call him Old Jack for conversation
Yar, he's
purposes.
an old salt.
Hello, my friend. I've heard that you were talking about a, a strange munitions sound. Yes?
Yes, I've been a sailor for quite a few years, and I've only heard that twice, and both times I've heard it, it meant destruction.
Ah, see, I told you all I wasn't crazy. I'm just a little off. And shut the
Does
fuck
this
up,
guy have all
Tristan.
his limbs?
Shut the fuck up, Tristan.
Is his name Warlord Omega?
His name is not. But listen to me. They all thought I was crazy. I told them my ship wasn't destroyed in the storm. It was, I swear. So, you've heard the same thing. Savvy? Alright. So, I'll tell you exactly. So, I heard that same thing when they destroyed my ship. The Pearl. She was beautiful.
How drunk is this guy?
He is belligerently drunk.
So, how likely am I going to get any useful information out of him?
Keep listening to him talk.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you exactly who it was. So, they blew up my ship, the Pearl. Alright. And I saw the vessel that came to scour the wreckage. Killed all my crew. Oh, those poor bastards. But, that's besides the point, I was able to get away on a piece of driftwood. But as I was drifting, I saw the vessel. It was orcish by design. And they had some weird trebuchet that they were using. That's all I saw. But I know it's them. And whatever those green bastards are up to, it doesn't mean well for those of us men of the sea, like yourself and I. Savvy?
So, how much of that's I buy the guy a drink.
A fellow man of the sea. You know to cure what ails you. And as you buy the drink, the tavern owner just looks at you like, he is a raving drunk. Keeps talking about a ship that he just showed up one day on a trading vessel. I wouldn't take whatever he says 100%. But thank you for humoring an old man.
I nod and carry the beer back or the ale back and plop it in front of him.
Thank you. But yes. I swear.
How long ago was this?
It had to be. You watch as he starts looking at his fingers. He goes cross-eyed for a minute. 3 years. Or months. I know the number was 3.
I don't know if I established.
You've had the island for pretty much like 4 months now.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how long. Because my backstory. This is all based off my backstory. Is where I'm going with
Yeah.
this. And so, I was looking. I don't know how long ago. I don't think I established any actual timeline. So.
Well, you can do it now.
Yep. Because I'm not gonna do it.
Well, I was just thinking, I don't know what makes sense. Like, my characters. Let's see.
Yeah, use your age of your character for a good reference for about how long.
Because I would have left home long time ago. Let's see whether
It would probably been Yalman at age probably 12. And then you had progressed up the rank over time.
this is also changing. Like the events in the game so far have kind of actually altered how the events took place. Because like I'm looking at my notes and this doesn't line up with what I actually thought it said. Because according to my notes, I mean, I don't know who the pirates are, but I watched. According to my notes, I watched my crew get murdered before my eyes. But
Mm.
but I
Well,
don't think that fits.
uh, orcs would most certainly murder a crew.
Right,
Mhm.
but I would know that they were orcs, so I wouldn't have been asking this guy.
Yeah. Well, we can change the laws of space and time to say that yes, it was orcs. You were just trying to find out if maybe if anyone's seen that vessel. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then we continue the conversation from there.
Well, I don't think I'm going to get any
Well, you're trying to
location
find
out of this.
details for the vessel.
Where oh yeah, this guy doesn't even know whether it was 3 months or 3 years ago. To say where did this take place?
It
I'll
was the
humor
Good.
him.
sea.
Does he remember where this took place?
Uh, everyone thinks I'm crazy or drunk,
Or both?
possibly both. But I'll tell you, the reason why I know it was orcs, and I know it was them for sure, is because we were out east, over between over around the Earthen Monarchy and the city-states. And they attacked our vessel without warning, at night. And there's only a couple of creatures I can see in the dark, and you and I aren't one of them.
I don't happen to recognize this guy, do I?
No. He's just a
Bruh.
random guy.
He's an old salty that's drunk.
I was just to say, how ironic would it be if I thought I was the only one to survive and this guy managed to float away on some driftwood?
Sea turtles. Sea turtles.
Maybe he's
mate.
your old captain. He's just gone drunk and crazy.
Just trying to find the map of the.
Rashadon,
Yeah,
I can share it again for you.
there we go. So
So
he said to the east or west.
he was to the east.
By the Earthen Monarchy and Osman City
The
States.
Osman City States. So almost halfway across the world from you.
That would be in prime dark orc territory. Not a character.
I have no idea where we were when we got sunk.
You were
Certainly
in
not in my
between
notes.
the Ospan City States.
In the Triumphant.
No, you were further south. Y'all were over by the Dominion when you originally crash landed.
Mm-hmm.
No, I meant but yeah, I guess that makes sense too. But I meant originally when my ship was attacked.
You
Like
do know that
before.
orc raiders go everywhere.
Like the fucker we fought in episode 2 was an orc.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where we got the bluebird from.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know about that vessel, though? I saw it. Or at least I saw part of it. Other than that,
Was she flying any colors?
she wasn't flying. Well, she had black sails. That's probably why she caught up on us. Cursed bastards.
When were you attacked? Was it day or night?
At night. I already said that. I'm not
I
crazy.
couldn't remember.
Hmm.
I'm
Am I
crazy
crazy or
too.
you
So
crazy?
I
Are
think
we
we're
all
both
crazy?
crazy.
This is all a simulation.
To being crazy, and
Created by some crazy
I
mad
hold up my
dog.
mug to toast being crazy together.
Ah, to crazy. That's how we survived.
Indeed.
Ah,
And a little of the divine. I touch my metal.
Why was I partly waiting for him? Just like, you go crazy, but you don't go full crazy.
But no. So he yes, the vessel. It was strange. The figurehead. It looked like an elf. Like a beautiful elf. Made of
On an
marble.
orcish vessel.
I know. Strange. Very strange.
If
But I
only
saw them.
And a
would
marble
kill.
figurehead to boot too. That's pretty rare.
It might be one of the great Khans. But I don't know of anyone that has an elven ship. Shut up, Shut up, Tristan.
I mean, that's why I'm using silk.
Well, that's all I know. And I thank you for the drink.
It's more than I knew before. To crazy, and I toast him one more time.
So crazy.
And I drain my pints and slam it on the table, and I head on.
Watch as the glass shatters and I have to pay damages to the bar.
It would actually be wood.
Well, yeah, it's wooden, but yeah. But yes, you now know that possibly you're looking for a vessel with black sails and a elvish figurehead.
Probably an elvish ship originally.
Well, it looked like an elf. The figurehead looked like an elf. A beautiful elf.
I added the note to my.
There you go. Ooh, so many plot hooks for characters showing up. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of all of you.
Yay!
Oh I purposely wrote my notes chock full of them. So if you're looking for more,
Yeah,
Well, I'm not just trying to look just focus on.
right? I know.
We've already pretty much.
It's not the story of Tristan and others.
Yeah, Hill's story is actually pretty much done.
Yeah.
I just figured I'd give you as many plot hooks.
Like
as
his
you
first
could
book or
handle.
books 20 through 72?
Congratulations, Tristan.
All
you're
of them.
having a kid now. Get out the way.
Yeah, exactly. You have your story.
I mean,
Another
it
thing.
might come back around. Who knows?
That's true. Things might happen.
Another thing is, I guess this is kind of going out of norm order, but I also wanted to, like, before I left, I wanted to talk to Golovov.
You can do that when you get back. How's
Okay.
that sound? All right. But for your next thing, so you are actually, I need you to roll a persuasion check for me to see
Okay.
if you can establish any taverns to actually want to buy your goods.
Nope.
That is a no. Most of them already had pre-established suppliers, so you're probably not going to get like an exclusive deal with it, but you can just sell the goods at regular, and we'll figure that into your company's income at on a later time, probably later on in this session. But would you like to sail back at this point in your timeline? Or is there anything else you're looking for?
It's like one of those episodes that keeps flashing back. You see it.
Yeah, it's one of those recap episodes.
It's one of those like Tales from Bossing Say episodes.
Last time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Tell from Sing Say.
Yeah, I haven't actually. I've been leaving the ship basically to the crew and letting them sail us from point. I mean, I tell them where we're going, but I've been letting them sail and basically staying to myself in my cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Having us a
Or
long time
in the main cabin. So yeah, I think I will tell them it's time to head home.
Yeah. On the trip home, though, you set down for prayer in your cabin. I need you to roll a religion check for me.
How angry is your god after Mavericks?
Your prayers are pretty much an uneventful affair. Nothing of interest happens.
Can I
But
actually hold?
Mhm.
So I know we've talked about this before, and I can cast this either before or after a roll.
Yep.
Can I do guidance and add to that? I mean, I
Yep.
know that it's
You
gonna
can add a
help, but-
D4 to it.
I think it's funny to use guidance on a religion roll.
Nope.
It-
Still don't
That
know anything.
one.
Still not much better. You feel the
Actually,
guidance, but
Thematically, it makes sense because I'm
Yeah.
definitely like seeking out
but
information from my
you do
deity. But yeah,
feel
I
a
rolled like
sense
crap.
of
So
neutrality almost. Like you don't feel like you've fallen out of favor with your deity, but
I don't know. With those rolls, he's like a priest without a god.
you just feel neutral. You don't believe that anything of significance was conveyed between the two of you. You don't feel that you've fallen out of favor, though.
well, the other person isn't around, so
Oh, yeah, Mav.
mhm.
Yeah.
He's still rubbing off being punched by a
But
centaur.
regardless of how my deity feels about it, Gammon is not happy.
Yeah.
So
I just like to
Which-
think that he's off in some random elven pub somewhere getting the shit beat out of him. 'Cause he tried
he's-
another meat puppet.
he is in his room and it is closed and will not open. Like most of the characters that exist on the island, they're in their rooms and their doors are closed and they
They're
will
just
not open.
standing on their bed, T-posed, with their eyes rolled back in their head, making static noises.
Yes, let's go with that.
It's just like a game's loading area when it's trying to load a model and gets stuck on a class file.
But you managed to make your way back to the island. It's an uneventful voyage. And you successfully make dock. The crew starts unloading. Rattletail doing her job as did we make her the boatswain or the first mate? I think she's first mate.
I think when none of the rest of the crew are on board, she's first mate.
Yeah. So she's assisting with like making sure everything's organized and unloading of things, basically like meats and stuff like that you traded for.
So do I need to do any? I mean, I know I rolled to see if I had any specific insights, but we did do trade. So do I need to roll to find out how much money I made for the island?
Essentially your flat goods is still how much income, just to kind of actually, you know what, I'll let you roll a
Because I think
I'm gonna see if
the
you can
reason
net some more off the trade.
the reason I was asking was because I think in the book, I think there's specifically like downtime activities, like you can roll to see how much money you earned as a merchant or whatever. So, and I'm obviously not a merchant, but
Let me see if
That's
there's
my
some.
shtick.
Oh yeah, that's kind of, well, I mean, he is the sailor, and most of your goods get transported by sea. Let's see. Which would
I'm
be
looking
under?
to it. It'd be under, well, the PHB. It'd be under um downtime activities. It'd be faster if I just looked it up in my physical copy.
Yeah.
Because there aren't page numbers and
There we go. Life sciences, crafting, practicing, training, recuperating, practicing a profession. I think Xanathars might have a little bit, or the DMG might have a little bit more. Oh, I also did pick up Elemental Evil as well.
cool. Let's see. Food and water, social interaction, role playing. Between adventures, downtime activities.
Ooh, yeah, I gave y'all a discount on making a. God, yeah, your manor was a lot cheaper. Uh,
Well, you had a chart, and we were
yeah,
going off of that chart.
but yeah, no, the essentially
And we didn't say it was
according to
free.
the DMG, the price for what y'all want for the basically what I gave you was it's almost like it's a manor. It's 2,500 gold or 25,000 gold to make a manor.
Well, it's already there. We just fixed it up.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
nobody said it was in great condition.
it's actually pretty decent. The dwarves did a good job.
When you say manor, is it like
All right,
kind of
roll a D100 for me.
oh
Okay.
what counts as D100?
Oh, that didn't work. Hold on.
Essentially a percentile. You can right click on the D10.
Yeah, there it goes.
Okay, so that's an 84. Roll 2d8 for me.
8.
This
Oh
is
my
just
gosh.
extra money that you
Snake
earned.
eyes. That means he wins, right?
So you earned an extra 10 gold pieces on top of the monthly profits through your own trade.
So 10 to me, and then the rest goes to the.
No, that's the 10 on top of the profits. So for basically I'm using this running a business thing. So anytime you actually want to do all these trading things, I'm just going to throw that into account. If you
All
had
right, that
rolled in
sounds good.
to the 90s, you could have rolled 3d10 times 5 gold pieces is how much you would have earned on top of the profits.
Well, and I rolled 2 1s, so that's my own problem. So.
Well, yeah, you also rolled into the hey, at least it was the 2d8 times 5 instead of the 1d6. But yeah, luck of the draw. But yeah, no, you earned an extra 10 gold pieces on top of that, so I'll add that into the income for the month. So that
We might be
actually
able to pay
adds.
rent.
Oh well, you've been paying rent. You just haven't been.
Wait, we're paying rent. Who do we pay rent to?
Oh, you've been basically paying your wages.
Wait, we get
Paying the
wages?
crew,
Yeah, you've been paying your
which
crew because
is
Oh,
kind of an issue
your crew is 2 gold
because,
pieces per each person.
and as Morgana said, if you pay some, you need to pay them all, and we haven't been paying everybody.
Yeah, well, you haven't been paying the citizens.
And we
Which
haven't
yeah.
been.
citizens'
Oh,
taxes, and you've been waiving their taxes, or you would have been getting extra money on top of the citizenry, but you've been waiving their taxes because you're just like,
They
we
ain't
don't
got
have
shit.
everything established yet, so we're
What's the
not
point in
taxing
taxing
any of
them when
you.
you ain't getting shit back?
But no, you actually have been paying the crew, so you're actually good on that one.
mhm.
You've been paying because your current profits right now are for your bushels of grain. You make 480 gold, and you made 490 this month due to Gammon's trading. But your expenses are and I've already taken all this into account with everything. Your 60 gold for each because you have 30 sailors, and they have to be paid.
Mhm.
So you have 30 sailors, 2 gold pieces per each employee, which is 60 gold. And then just your regular maintenance expenses is 240.
I want
And
to
it's gonna
investigate quickly. I want to investigate the teleporter on the ship.
mm-hmm. Go ahead. Roll an
Do I have?
arcana check.
Okay. All right.
You
Do
know
I
most of the inner
understand?
workings of it.
Okay. So that okay. My so would I know how to disable and re-enable it?
You could.
Okay. Is it like, do I know enough that it's a major risk to disable it, or
You know
do
enough
I
that you
know
could safely disable the enchantment.
and re-enable it? I know
Yep.
enough that I can do both. Okay.
I have a feeling
Because
he's going to up and disappear.
well, thematically, like I said, I should have done that first because thematically, I disabled that when I left.
He didn't want anyone popping up on him.
Nope.
And that is you that
If
as you
any one of you
reactivate.
guys if any of you guys had tried to dial into the Bluebird, you would have found a busy signal.
Beep boop beep boop.
What if
Number you have dialed is no longer in service.
what if instead of it dialing to the Bluebird, it just dials to those that are active?
Yeah, it
You
would
go
just show up as inactive.
that was joking, but no, you go
Yeah.
through it and you smack into a brick wall on the other side and it pancakes you and you're dead. So
No, we're not doing that.
We're not in Stargate, sadly.
that was the joke.
Oh,
Just get stuck in an
the
infinite
problems
loop.
with Stargate. Let's not start on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna suffice to say that let's see, my 7,300. So yeah, it's 300 in gold, and then you made 480, so that's 180, 190. So your savings are now up by another 190. That, and you also have your own stockpile of 3,000 gold. This is just your island's profits. So 480
the
plus
190. Oh, that's the okay.
Yeah, if you look at the island status, I'm updating it now. How much money you have, which is
Where's that?
It's under
480
notes.
plus 190. Yeah, it's a public note.
That's a
So
calendar.
It's PC notes, maps, story. It's over on the right hand side. And if you don't
Dealer
have it, go to
status?
library. If you don't have it, go to library, and up at the top, you'll see the little chevron things, little flags. Find notes and check the notes box.
Is it the one that just says island status?
mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, y'all are at 670 gold.
6,000.
No,
You mistyped.
add an extra 0.
I'll take it.
No, I'm not. No,
Is this that COVID assistance money?
no. You would just suffer and have to pay for it.
I already do. What's the difference?
But yes, y'all do have your party's inventory is different from your island's. Your party still has 3,208 gold.
Yep.
You also still have a potion of fire breath, a potion of lightning resist, a red elemental gem, and a color change scarf. You also have those 2 shells that are worth 5,000 apiece.
We still have the color change scarf.
Yep.
Yep. Nobody wanted it.
I think we should use that as a color changing flag for the ship so that we can.
That's
change
what
our
the
colors.
original idea was for, and then Mav was like, "Let's give it to Kill's wife," and she was like,
No.
"No, she's not that type of woman."
As the captain of the Bluebird, I take it and put it in the stockpile on the Bluebird to be used as a color change banner when it needs to be used.
Okay, I will go ahead and add that to Gammon.
I could build so many waifus with those shells.
You said it's going to be directed towards waifus.
Well, we're definitely not giving it to Matt.
Yeah.
Gammon did not take those shells with him to sell.
No to kill.
Yeah, no. That is 100% Mav's thing. I need to take off this damn band-aid.
If Gammon had taken them with him, they might not have actually got sold, and they might have just disappeared. So
Dropped off into the ocean somewhere.
I mean,
probably. That was Mav's thing to sell. Anyway, he was like, "I'm gonna try and sell these during the downtime," and I'm like, "Uh huh."
we got something off. We got claws or something off of the
Matt
crab
did.
guys too.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
Yep. I'm gonna go get a drink. Be right back.
Everyone is leaving.
I'm not leaving yet. We still have an hour, and I'd like to do the council meeting before we close down for the day.
No, I was just saying that like 3 of you all stepped away all at once.
Oh, everybody stepped away?
Tristan went to get something, and then like I think it was Beerun went to go get something.
Oh, okay. Well then, I guess I will wait. I'll go get a piece of cake while I wait.
I want cake.
Yep, take a break. Be back in 5.
I'm back.
Warlord initiated a take 5 because everyone else stepped away.
I was trying to hold it, and I was like, yeah, I better just.
Welcome to how I felt during the Morgana talk. I'm like, I need to poop. This needs to get done. But I need to poop. Oh. At least my thumb doesn't hurt as bad as it did this morning. I was smart and managed to scald myself.
And I'm back.
There's another one.
So who's all back?
I'm back. I think
Is it?
Warlord's still good.
Well, he came back and then he asked where you guys were, and I said you guys went off to go do something real quick. And then he went to go get cake.
But isn't cake a lie?
I don't know. Ask him. I just occasionally work here sometimes.
And you work here when you're here. Which sometimes is more often than none.
Kind of float around.
I remember back in the day you were here like damn near 5 days a week.
Yeah. This week is I started a like a temporary contract kind of work thing,
Mm,
which it's a few months of work, but it's a few months of work. Money's good.
I
But
mean, as long as you're able to pay off your version of Uncle Sam.
my issue right now is just that the temporary work they have me doing is fucking brutal. From the sounds of it, is I'm going to be stuck basically reframing and repairing an entire floor system for a 4-story condo building in a 3-foot crawl space for a couple months.
Yep, no thanks. Get a midget.
I've been down there for 2 days. Parts of my knees are turning such a dark color purple, even with knee pads, that I don't think that should be doing that.
You might want to go see a doctor. You're fairly quick.
Like I don't think it's like necrotic, but they're like heavily bruised.
Yeah, but still, just in case, see a doctor.
That's gonna have to wait till tomorrow. It's 10 p.m. now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
It
just
might not be
from
nothing, but
from like just crawling around, my knuckles, my wrists, my lower back, and my knees fucking are on fire. They're just sore and they hurt.
yeah, and if your legs are going purple, no blood is going to that of your lower legs.
Probably because I've been kneeling on that spot for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. And
What's,
that can
what's
cause a lot
even
of problems.
better? What's even better is they're upping the hours this upcoming week. Now it's going to be 9 or 10 hours a day. Part of it too is just so fucking exhausting to move anywhere down there.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Because not only are you crawling, but there's some spots where there's no other way to get through except
Mhm.
you have to army crawl. There is no other way because there's plumbing that drops down and around.
Mm,
So you go from a 3 foot to maybe like 16 inches.
yeah, and that's just barely to crawl through.
Yeah. And think on top of that is I also have to drag and move tools and material with me.
Yeah, you about need like 21 to 24 inches just to do that most of the time.
And then on top of that is it's unfinished floor. It's just dirt. So I can't
Yeah,
roll anything.
yeah, I would say fuck that. That's
But
just being an American.
oh, trust me, I want to say fuck it too, but I have nothing else lined up. Because right before I did so I did the interview and stuff for this on like the Friday. The Monday, I had a chiropractic appointment while I still had the last vestige of any kind of benefits.
Tristan,
They,
I'll be driving by you on the 16th or 17th of November. I'll be sure and wave.
But you're going like down my road, down the country road.
No, I just mean I'm driving by your town.
Ah, well, look up to out of the west southwest. That's
and
the
go a
town.
couple 100 miles down
No,
his driveway.
no, I live about 15 minutes outside of town.
You don't
Already,
have like one of those like stupid long driveways where the driveway is almost the same as a highway.
no,
And then I'll be driving by again about a week later. So
going down to your family, I'm guessing.
and going out to Wyoming, yeah, elk hunting.
Mm,
You could come up and visit Soviet Kanatastan.
I already live close enough to Soviet Kanadistan.
You just won't be able to do anything for 2 weeks
Yeah,
if they let you through.
one of my associates has to cross the border, and he's able to cross the border, but just so.
yeah,
And when they cross, they make you quarantine no matter what.
He's on the tentative list of workers, so he doesn't have to quarantine, but he's scrutinized quite heavily as to what he does when he crosses the border. So
Oh, is it kind of like how over in Windsor, there's a bunch of people who like live on one side, but then work on the other side as like a doctor or whatever?
he has dual citizenship, and he lives and works in Canada, but he also works in the U.S. So
ever need to get a hold of me, just use that number. Because that is my current phone number.
oh,
Join Tristan on night in the town.
well, I'm not gonna be. I'd stop, but I'm not gonna be driving by myself. So
Yeah.
Just drive along. Turn here.
What we do? Gotta go see someone. Out the
It'll be
middle of fuck nowhere? Hello,
four of us and all of our crap packed into a pickup.
Yeah. Sounds about
It's a crew
like
cab, but
yeah, but
still.
still. Gonna be a
For
cramp bitch.
17 and a half hours. So it'll probably be like midnight when I go by.
Yeah, something like that.
Because
Drive by the house
we
like
usually
middle of the
plan
night.
to arrive before 6 so that we can go out right away. So basically we're awake for 48 hours for the first day. So.
Yeah. I would have probably done pretty much when someone's damn near asleep, they sleep for a certain amount of time, then switch out.
The one guy's crazy and he just likes to drive. So usually I'll take a nap and I'm up most of the time, but I'll take a nap for an hour or two of the trip. And then when he finally gets tired, then I usually drive the last bit. So
Okay.
I usually end up driving on the worst part of the trip. He gets tired right before we go over the mountains, and so I get to drive us up and over the mountains, and then he'll take back over once we get down on the other side. There's only like 20 minutes left of the trip once we get on the other side of the mountain. But
Yeah.
he usually sleeps through the mountain crossing. So,
Yep.
but he usually drives that on the way home, so that's fine. We trade off. But he usually drives the whole way home too. So. I did actually last year. I guess I did quite a bit of the drive. I think I drove about 8 hours on the way home. So I was driving when I drove by your house or your place on the way back.
Well, you're about 10 minutes towards the west on the highway before you go to hit that turn.
Well, I mean, as close as I am, I'm just saying I drove
Mhm.
right nearby. So
I mean, it's still within spitting distance, so.
I don't know. When I originally moved out here, it was just me and Gramps. We alternated drove, and it took us about 3 days.
Well, there's a shit ton of distance in Canada between population centers.
And we drove about 4,500 k. I don't know
Is
what that
that
is in
in freedom
American sun
kilometers?
units.
Is that in freedom units or is it that in? I'm just giving you shit.
That would come out to that is 2,801.7 footballs per eagle.
Not bad.
3.5 days.
Yeah.
I don't know what distance that would match up for you guys. It's basically like a complete, like
That's
starting in Maine going to Oregon.
yeah, pretty much.
yeah, my drive for hunting 17 and a half. It's 1,150 miles.
The farthest trip I ever had was going over to Louisville, Kentucky.
All right, guys. Sorry about the delay. I have returned. Let's finish this up.
Yep, no problem. We were just bullshitting on distance.
Okay, so now we're back. Uh, Captain Gammon, you return to the island. The crew
Yep.
has successfully unloaded the ship. You said you wanted to speak to Golemov.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way back to the manor, and you find Golemov is in his room, reading over his very off-putting looking book.
Is it the Telenomicon?
It was a gift from whatever is his patron.
And he's very enthralled by it.
Mr.
As you
Golemov,
walk in through the door, he doesn't
have a
even look
moment?
up from the book, and you just hear the voice in your head. Mr. Gammon, you have returned.
Yes.
What can I do for you?
I feel like we've confided in each other before, so um
Oh,
what what are
he watches. He
your
closes the book. Uh, how can I? Please take a seat. What can I assist you with?
what do what are we doing here? And I like just like motion around like here on the island. What are we doing?
I'm. I asked myself like the same question. Originally, I was just a traveler, trying to find some purpose with this ability. He watches his hand kind of glows in that same ethereal green color that he usually that usually flavors his magic. And I think I've found a home here. Mm, I, I've, we've essentially been. I mean, take for instance the Yonti that we took in. Where would they have had to go without us?
I started out as a traveler myself. I was in search of a ship and a crew, and I found one, and everything seemed to be wonderful. But the more and more people that we add to our merry band of individuals, the more I realize that not all of us have the same goals.
Well,
Indeed, none of us seem to have the same goals, or any of the same goals for that matter.
well, I'd like to see the silent prosper. Hence why I do my best to help with the administration duties, as we've dumped upon Morgana on multiple occasions. Uh, which that's I'm not going to lie, that's a lot of fucking paperwork, and I hate it. Um, but no, um, we we are different individuals. Yes, you're not wrong there, and our our paths that we walk are different. But I do believe, at least amongst a majority of us, those goals stay the same. But we are different people. For instance, you are a man, and I am a Luxodon. Our perception of life is very different from each other.
Well,
I,
we are both from the Ozapan city states.
but that does not mean we are the same. If it was that easy, every single you, myself, and Nelismaril would all have the exact same thoughts. But
And as we all
as you,
know, I'm fucked.
Nelismaril, she is her own person. You are your own person. I am troubled, but I am my own person, and I am getting better.
I was just gonna say, are you really your own? I don't
I
say
am.
that. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, you're thinking that's like, aside from a upturn where I am possessed by a creature that is unfathomable by my understanding, I am still my own man. I still wake up every morning. I eat my own meals. No one forces me to do these things. But I do care. Otherwise, I would have left a long time ago.
So
And I
where do
do.
we draw the line when certain individuals don't have the same interests.
And that is when the group decides. We just we set down a law. Have rules. I mean, look in the Osborne city states. The Osborne city states, for example, you've seen the slave markets. While slavery is forbidden, one can purchase one and take it outside of the Osborne city states, correct?
Right, and we've already decided that we aren't going to do that here.
Exactly. One does not need to agree on every action to still cooperate. I'm taking this as some event has troubled you.
Yes, our recent foray into the mines.
Yes, a loss of life, especially one contracted to you, is not an easy thing.
Well, that and other decisions that were made.
What are the decisions?
Oh,
The
does Gomos not
shells.
know about the shells?
He does not know about the shells. He saw you bringing them back, but that's it.
I'm assuming you saw the snail shells.
Yes, quite valuable, by the way.
You know how we
And,
got them?
well, I'm assuming you killed some creature for them.
We killed those creatures.
So we've killed creatures before. We hunted dinosaurs when we went to assist the Yanti.
This sounds
What
so
makes
wrong.
We
what
didn't kill the
makes
dinosaurs in order to make a trade off of them.
uh did the creatures pose any threat to you?
None whatsoever.
So you've committed murder,
I haven't.
but you feel complicit in it.
It happened while I was there, and there wasn't anything I could do to stop it.
Hmm. There was once a great Rashadon who said, "The inactions of good men are greater than the sins of the worst man." And you, Mr. Gammon, are a good man. You accepted me for who I am and what I am. But do not besmirch yourself and what you have accomplished.
My
Let
powers
me
that
guess
I
though.
go ahead.
It was the elf.
However, could you have guessed? Quick, Gammon, tell him what he's won.
Indeed. My powers that I wield are not my own either. The powers that I wield are of my deity, and I'm not so sure that I can wield those powers if my deity opposes the action.
I am not 100% well versed in what is required for a cleric, but I do understand that the bonds between uh, you and your faith are the source of your power. And a violation of those which you believe that you have occurred with, and I'm taking that you have also seen some sign from your faith that what you did was wrong. Am I correct?
I'm not so sure if it's whether I did the wrong thing, but I know that my deity is displeased. I'm worried that in the future, I'll put it this way: I disagree with the actions that were taken, and I know my deity very much disagreed with the actions that were taken, and I fear that in the future, when the time comes to heal my supposed companions, that my deity may not answer that call.
That you might be correct, but it is not our place to know the minds of the gods. If we did, well, I would have more answers than I do right now, and I'm assuming you would as well.
From what
But
I know of Habakkuk, he doesn't usually speak so directly, and
as is
yet
the way of the divine,
and yet this was quite strong.
I believe you need to have a discussion with Lindo.
That's what I was afraid of.
He is just another man as you are. He might be longer lived than the rest of us, but he is still a man.
Well, that's my question of what are we doing here, and what are we seeking to do here, and who is involved with that.
I believe this is something we need to discuss with all the people, especially some of our newer recruits, then. That is something they need to understand. And it must become from a place of consensus. Otherwise, it is just you imposing your will upon the others.
I thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you, Mr.
Well,
Miyagi.
you don't make it to over 100 years old and not learn at least a couple of things. And what can I say? We Luxodon are. I believe the joke is if you
Alexa
want.
never forgets.
Yes, a Luxodon never forgets. But I believe Maganda was wanting to have at least our insight onto some current island affairs while we are at least available at the time. I've, to my own admission, I have been delaying a lot of major decisions without you all present because I do see you, myself, Neliz Maril, Kongol, and Kill as, I believe the word is, the founders. I believe we have a lot of say in the approaches to some of these affairs.
I hope so.
All right. Give me a moment and I will be dressed and we can call the council meeting.
Was
All right.
Golem just talking to him in his underwear?
Well, no, he's in his robes, but he's like, you did never see him wear any other pair of robes.
He's in his smoking jacket.
Oh, God.
He has like a
He's
nice
in
red
his-
velvet smoking jacket and pair of fuzzy slippers.
with
Somehow stick to his feet.
his loafers and his
got
dad
some
pipe.
little
Got the dad
fuzzy,
pipe going, and for some reason he's got a pair of glasses, but there's no glass in them.
like fuzzy, like mitten things on the ends of his tusks.
Come, son, tell me of what troubles you.
And somehow he's managed to get 5 o'clock shadow, and it's still 2 a.m. or whatever in the morning.
Jesus.
But he
I
hasn't
nod
had his
and-
coffee.
I nod and head out to refresh myself after several days away on the sea.
No. You walk past some of the other named crew members, going to their own particular little rooms within the manor. namely Thalia and Mortaris.
They have any comment about me not taking them along? Or did I take them along? I
Yeah,
don't
they're
even
part of the
know.
they are part of the crew that you actually hired. Like,
Okay, so they were along then.
yeah, they were along. They are your named NPCs on the crew. They will usually transition with you guys when you get better vessels and stuff like that. Same with Rattletail, who is your de facto first mate. You all are kind of like at captain status. Just Biren kind of takes more of the captainy role than the rest of you.
We're all captains, and he's a vice admiral.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Like on an actual carrier, you have the captain of the vessel, and then you have the admiral who's in charge of the fleet that's there.
And if you're an aircraft carrier, isn't there generally a captain or something that's in charge of the airwing?
Yeah,
We don't have to worry about that.
yeah. You don't have any flying cavalry.
We
We'll
don't have.
strap wings to
So if you
Mr.
wanna-
Horsey and make him fly.
I mean, there are creatures that you could use as mounts, but good luck affording them.
Yeah.
We'll just strap wings and magic engines to Mr. Horsey and turn him into a
Good luck
supersonic fuck
flying
you
it in
machine.
the massive thunderstorm that I summoned to destroy my enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your cavalry is suddenly just struck down by lightning storms. But yeah, no. So you all freshen up. Any other conversations that need to be had?
Not that I can think of.
I guess
Okay.
I communed a little bit with Golemov and some of the transactions I had back on the Eleven Triumvirate. And
Okay.
I also inform him that his wife is pregnant.
He gives you a hug. It's one of the few times you've actually seen Golemov show like any genuine emotion.
Goes,
Life is precious, my friend, and I'm glad to see you help to contribute the cycle.
For a minute there, I thought he was going to go full Vulcan.
kill.
Have I seen Damien at all?
Yeah, Damien's running around doing
I
kid
just
stuff.
I just was curious if when I came back, if I happened to run into him.
He's at the manor running around doing kid stuff. He's actually really happy because apparently like a week before you arrived back, he's started his apprenticeship under Kai or under Nelismaril.
So he's running around telling everybody about that.
Yeah, he's saying I'm an apprentice.
But he has like a little lisp.
Yeah, he's still a kid. He's missing a couple of teeth in the front.
We can fix that. We can make him stronger and better.
When he runs by and tells me that, I say, "Oh, that's great," and I say, "I brought you something back," and I hand him a little package of sugar sticks from the Ozapan city states.
Okay. I'd say they were a couple of copper pieces. You can say how much they were. But they're not that expensive. It's a sugar. Well, actually, at this time period, sugar would be expensive, but you know what I mean.
So we'll say a couple of
Yeah.
silver pieces.
Nah, they're copper. They're copper. Still copper. There's not that much sugar.
Is
It's
it
not like you're buying them.
10 copper or silver?
Did we
'Cause
say
I
it was
think-
tens or hundreds?
I can't
Tens.
remember. That's why I was asking.
Was
I
it 10?
tens.
I thought we did
Tens.
hundreds.
I thought it was
Yes,
hundreds
because
hundreds makes-
100 copper makes 1 gold.
Okay, yep.
Well,
So
in
it's
some games it does, but I didn't know if that was the case.
There
From-
was something that you
from
looked
what-
up some kind of chart somewhere.
yeah, and it
Pretty
said tens. Yeah.
Sure, it ends.
The main thing that I've seen in D&D is
I-
based off of 10.
I wish it was hundreds. But
Yeah. That's what I usually played it by was hundreds, but you know I was wrong. So
We
yeah.
all might be wrong for all we know.
yeah, who cares? It's the game that we play.
A16s.
Ooh, don't you dare! That's what
Yeah.
Electrum is like a weird piece. That's why I'd never use it
yeah, I
A lot of
refuse
games
to
don't use it.
refuse.
because Electrum is dumb.
Also very old. Like, rare old.
Yeah. Um,
So yeah, I broke up some silver, so I had some copper and subtracted it.
yeah, there you go. Continuing on. All right, so you all get called down for the council meeting.
Kill is dressed up in his attire that he would normally wear during his off time.
Yeah, your off-time noble attire.
Off time, out of armor attire, I would say.
Yeah,
What
it's
does
probably
it feel
just
like
your
with the British Army
underlayer.
stuff?
It might be just this underlayer, like the padding that goes underneath his armor, because you just don't put the armor over your bare skin unless you want some very, very bad pinching.
Pinching and scarring.
Well, I was saying like the British military uniform for like dress mess or mess dress, like the red blazer kind of thing with
Oh, that thing. I
the
don't know what he would.
lapels, that kind of stuff.
It probably is like a lapel or some type of padding or something of
Gunnison.
that. Yeah, there we go. That's the
Ew, that'd
word.
be disgusting though.
It's
Normally,
what he wears
gamisons were
underneath
never washed.
Kill washes it.
occasionally.
So,
All right,
Everyone
so
sits away from him in the meeting.
yeah, so everyone, you take your seats at the table, and Morgana's there, and she has like a stack of papers.
And she looks like she's about ready to cry.
She's just like, all right. I guess this is the first official council meeting we've managed to hold, and I'm glad you're all present.
For once.
I guess first order of business. I've already subtracted the amount for the restitution for the dead prospector from our current coffers. We, with a glorious help from Mr. Gammon, we are currently in the positive of 670 gold pieces.
Kill just nods in acceptance.
But we now currently have a mine, at least available to start working. It will take us. It would take us around 400 gold pieces to get the mine started with proper safety regulations in place.
I think safe is the best route to take.
All right. That would take our savings down to 270 gold pieces. Any opposed?
I'm all
Where does
for this safety stuff.
Where
But
does that
the
leave us in general? I mean, 270 gold pieces, that's not much. How long is that going to keep us operating for?
Well, luckily the grains roughly bring us in around 480 gold pieces. We are currently at a profit of 180 gold pieces per month. The mine's operations will not, hopefully, put too many extra expenditures on us. I do believe Chieftain Sotek has something he would like to bring up. Yes. Uh, and you watch as like a little talking stone is passed to him. With the current knowledge that there are still hostile wildlife that still exist amongst, at least on the island, um, I would like to institute a guard patrol to at least ensure the safety of our people. Or at least ward away anything that would cause any harm to us. Um, I would like to establish proper arms to ensure that we can defend ourselves as well. Um, I'm not sure about the expenses of such, but I would like to at least arm at least 10 individuals.
Again,
Are
a
you
nod from the friends.
asking?
Kill raises his hand, and before the other two speak, you can ask of what type of weaponry, and would you still need training for those weaponry if we are able to procure them, and also armor and other materials for the people that wish to be trained, and for the guard.
Well, I still have 10 of my braves from when you brought us here that are willing to volunteer for the service. Um, it won't interfere with any of the other functions that we currently do unless we decide to make them a full-time affair. Uh, but they would mostly just patrol the area at night, and they would keep the weapons within their own domiciles. Um, uh, Most of us do not have too much training with your advanced weaponry, but we do know how to use more simpler arms, and maybe some strong leather armor would be enough to at least keep their protection from any harmful things that would attack them. We also still have our Yanti physicality, which does assist us in these matters as well.
Kill nods and asks if his braves would like to train to more advanced weaponry, such as sword and such. He would be glad to train them.
And that is your prerogative, Mr. Meadowstrider. It would be greatly appreciated if you could provide any assistance in training of these individuals.
Kill nods to him and says he would be honored to.
No, that is my business for the floor. And he passes the stone back to
Morgana.
Morgana. Um, any opposed to the arming of a guard?
Kill shakes his head no.
All right. I will put in a request for some weapons. Anything in particular we should be looking for?
Hmm. The simplest weapon I could think of to train with, and very useful to fend off certain monsters, would probably be a spear or a pike.
All right, so we will look for a batch of 10 spears and leather armor. I would assume would probably be
Leather or studded would probably suffice, but the most common armor.
studded leather would be more expensive,
Yes.
but if that is what everyone is in favor of, we can get some leather armor as well, or we can go for studded leather armor.
If need to, we can dig into our coffers and offer money for this expense, for it would benefit the whole island on top of.
Well, it would be greatly appreciated. I mean, technically, this is your island. Uh,
Does the chieftain react to the upgrading from simple leather?
he just nods. Uh, did we lose Kai? Because I think he had something to say about it as well.
Studded leathers, 45 gold pieces a piece.
I
Yeah.
just let Tristan do it.
Oh, okay. Is there anything? I know you had something you wanted to say.
Well, initially I was going to ask, was he asking for like a full-time force or a volunteer force? And was he asking more in the sense of a civic service versus standing service?
Volunteer service right now, unless you decided to make it more of a permanent thing.
Because he said he wanted 10 individuals, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He wanted to arm 10 individuals.
How big's the town?
Right now, you are currently at 70 people.
70 or 80, I was going to say.
You're at 70
70
people.
Out of 70 people, it would reasonably make sense to have, if you're going for watchmen, say 4 standing at all times and have the rest of that 10 be reactionary, and arm the freestanding ones with something to alert everyone else, like a bell or a horn or something, so that they can call to them.
These guys, I'm just throwing it out there. These guys already were doing this in their tribe. So they probably kind of have a pretty good idea of how to alert and do that sort of thing. They probably already have their own systems for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did say it was 10 of his braves.
Yeah, so it's
Mhm.
more just, I'd say this is more just a matter of
Equipping. That's right.
equipping them and also agreeing that, and it also feels a little bit more to me like it's what they're used to, and so this guy just kind of wants
Well, we
uh
also need someone to look out.
yep, and it certainly
Oh.
aligns with what we would like as well, so I think it sounds like a great idea.
Like, I'm not saying completely retrain them from scratch and that their brave shit doesn't fucking matter. What I'm saying is that ideally, with the 70 people, 4 people should be enough to handle everyday affairs that a watchman would handle,
So
and have them call in volunteers as they need it. So they're like, if needed, you can pull from this pool, and it still leaves all that extra labor free for other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not dedicated. This is what you do. That's it.
well,
It
and
leaves them free.
he did say that it shouldn't affect their daily day-to-day activities.
And
So at this
So,
scale,
1 second, and Gulimov raises his
trunk.
hand. Well, no, he uses his hand. He doesn't use his trunk for everything.
He has no
Um,
hands. It is all trunk.
oh my god, no! That's an image I can't unsee.
so he's basically Cthulhu. I mean,
Oh.
Continue on.
So I believe with with Nil's suggestion, we stand up the 4 permanently. We keep them trained on duty, and
They,
then we have the
yeah.
6 remaining as auxiliary force, I believe is what you're saying.
Yeah, they'd be used, like, if you need extra assistance with something, and the 4 wouldn't be all working at the same time. That's not reasonable at all. It'd be 2-person day, 2-person nights, kind of rotate. So there's always someone there. So if any of the citizens see something and something happens, they know exactly who to go to, and they can talk to them directly, and they can organize it.
I think that sounds like a very good idea. I too agree. That's a much good idea.
Kill nods, but still emphasizes that additional training would also help, just in case.
Oh yeah, by all means, the ones that are the permanents, give them a bit more training because it's their profession. But essentially, the idea is that they're not only just dealing with wild monsters and stuff, but I'd also like them to help if there's disputes or something to kind of help with that.
And also de-escalate situations if it's
Yeah, exactly. They're watchmen. They're basically police.
All right. So we will keep 4 standing guards at 2 on day-night rotations, and the other 6 individuals will be there as an auxiliary force. They will still receive training in their spare time to assist, but they will not be mandatorily on duty at all times. And I guess this also facilitates if one of them eventually does, if something happens where they are unable to facilitate their duties, we do have a backup reserve force to assist them if necessary.
kill
Eh,
nods as to her summarization.
Well, all right, we will. This is. I hate to be the um, bearer of bad news, but the coffers would not sustain all 10 unless you are willing to provide the funds to help facilitate this.
Ideally, the best way to handle the payment system of this would be the foreman would be paid as a wage as an employee under the estate, and the additional 6, while having their own original work, would be paid only time that is given for that stuff. So,
Or
like,
for training.
yeah, like time that they're on training, just the time they're on training. So if they only train for a day, they get that day's wage for that.
Okay, so out of conversation moment. So y'all would like to pay 4. You're going to upgrade 4 citizens to being guards.
Yes.
Okay, so I will figure out the wage for those as well. Well, I'll just use the same 4 for
Alright.
that. So you'll have. I'll
And
just
the
add 4
other,
more to
the
it.
others, I suppose, would be like militia.
Yeah.
They're militias that the 4 can
I won't
pull from.
pay. I won't make you. I'm not gonna, mostly because I don't want to handle that extra math. So you're gonna have 4 people paid as guards.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that upgrades. Let's see. That's 4. So that upgrades the income
And
to let's 2 gold per employee.
their weapons
So
and armor will be provided to them. If they want to.
which that again. That is something that because
We
he
were
was
going.
just asking for leather, and you're wanting to go for studded. Studded leather is expensive.
Yes, but it would add more protection, and on top
Well,
of that,
if we're
If we're just
outfitting
arming 4
Yanti,
with
right?
studded leather.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're outfitting Yanti, doesn't their skin as scales have some armor value itself?
Not a lot though.
I
They don't
would
have.
say-
They're not lizardmen. They don't have built-in armor.
I would say let's go ahead and equip the 4 with the upgraded armor. And
So you want to buy 4 sets of studded leather armor.
yeah, and
And
we'll buy that out of the party coffers if that's okay
Okay.
with everybody else.
and we're still going to have to get their weapons and shit.
spears are cheap. I think
Mhm.
spears are 6 gold pieces a piece.
Nope, 1.
1 gold piece a piece. Yeah, you can buy a
Ooh.
shit ton of spears. You can buy spears and backup.
Ow, studded leather is 45 GP.
Yep.
Fucking
It's
pop.
expensive, so.
So we're outfitting for fucking $200 right there.
But
then-
these guys may come in handy, so.
If we wanted to outfit them, say with like a mace, that'd be 5.
Since they're watchmen, should we give them a little like police hat?
Well, hey, they're probably used to using. I mean, they're probably used to.
They're
using
not used to wearing
spears and-
armor at all, but he has seen that what the armor can do for like the
He's-
paladins when they were on the island.
And
So
also
that's why I
for
was like, maybe we might want to get some armor.
Well, and I was going to say about the weapons, though, like a mace might not be a bad idea because these guys are probably used to using things like spears and clubs, and a mace isn't that far off from a club, but it's definitely an upgrade.
Mhm.
That is true.
we could have.
So leather armor would just be 10 gold pieces a pop.
Mhm. We could have that for like the 6 reserve.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
we're
ooh.
looking to spend.
I had some suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not gonna like. Since we're already spending pretty much close to $200, why not just say 200 flat and just make it chainmail? Because that's 50 a pop.
If that's what you want to buy.
That's well, that
It's only
requires-
$5.
That requires medium armor proficiency, though. And most anybody can wear light armor.
Mhm.
I don't know. Are these
Is it?
guys able to use?
You would, if Tristan wants to train them on how to properly wield and don armor, he can.
Mhm.
Which I think is what he already planned on.
I was
Yeah.
planning to train pretty much.
So you can. Oh man, this is
It's gonna take some time.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of things I gotta add to the sheet. So you have, all right. So I'm gonna say in your downtime, you're gonna already have this. So you're gonna have,
Right.
I need to add a new tab onto here. So it's going to be called your military.
Oh, change shirts a medium. Yeah.
So your military is currently
4 dudes and 6 other dudes.
4 guards
Where is this Jamison?
and 6
He's making it.
How you spell volunteer?
Just militia.
Yeah, militia. That'll work. I can spell that one a lot easier. I can spell militia, but I can't spell volunteer.
VOLUNTE.
Yeah, I'd have to spell check that one too.
And your guards will be trained in medium armor.
I don't know if medium's necessary.
Well,
Keeps them alive a lot longer.
Keeps them alive longer, protects their investment, and it's really not that much different of a price off the fucking studded.
Medium armor, and you're going to train them to use martial weapons as well, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Which Shinzite can help you with that as well. He
Mhm.
actually knows how to wield weapons if he chooses to. That is his decision.
I mean,
Kill's more of a
already gone
finesse.
through one scenario of teaching people to defend themselves. So.
Ooh, plus
Kill-
side
He can tell
too.
them how to use their rage.
Mhm.
An added bonus is with the chain shirt, it gives them an additional 2 decks.
No, that's the dex
That's their max
requirement
dex.
bonus they can get from that.
Yep.
Which I'll have to make an NPC for guards. But they will have poison immunity or
Mhm.
resistance because they are Yanti.
Yep.
And they're also resistant to magic too, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Our guards are broken sacks of shit.
You did get some good guards.
And we're also training them to use better weapons.
And they look like humans, so people won't know until they get
Mr.
into that
Goliath,
mess.
why don't
So
you use a mace? I have a fist.
Now we just need to make the fucking daily.
No.
You're wanting to make a secret police?
No.
Hey.
We must protect the waifus at all cost.
we are the secret police. What are you talking about?
No one suspects.
So
and
I
other,
would say that.
one more thing to bring up before we close down. We did manage to receive 2 work requests while you were all gone. One was from a person to assist with an acquisition of goods in the Ospan city states, and one strangely was your assistance in an expedition in the Earthen Monarchy.
Neither one of those have gone well for us. before.
Was there any information on that expedition?
We haven't been to the Earthen Monarchy. So.
It seems that they would like your assistance in recovering an old. I'm not exactly sure what a tig is. Do you know what a tig is, Mr. Kongle?
Good question, Mr. DM.
Yes, you do. A dwarven tig is essentially from Dragon Age. It's a dwarven fortress.
Oh,
We're going to
Recovering a
Mines
it
of
is
Moria?
essentially a fortress.
It looks like they would like your assistance in an expedition. Apparently, word of your success has gotten around, so you are.
Now they want us
They
to
mentioned
assault
the
a
name of
castle.
the
I'm not exactly sure about what the details of it. I've never been to the Earthen Monarchy.
Kill just thinks in his head, it's probably going to have fucking Legion there.
Be the first.
The Legion's been gone for quite a long time, Mr. Meadowstrider. Or Sir Meadowstrider, pardon.
Can she read minds?
No.
I said this in my mind.
Oh, you said it in your mind. Then shut up.
Did Morgana just reveal something about herself? Dun dun dun. I have one more issue that I'd like to bring up.
The floor is yours, Captain Gammon.
It has to do with the ways in which we go about making money for our group, and also, I suppose, making a living on the island. We've made laws about slavery and things of that nature, and do we have any uh, consensus on acceptable and unacceptable means to ends?
That's for the rest of you. I have no answer on that
Yeah,
one.
I'm asking the party.
And you mean like murdering other people?
For one,
Are they dicks?
I'm not so sure that our most recent acquisition uh, was a good faith acquisition.
No, it was not.
And in my speaking with Gulimov, and I tend to agree, we are the founders of this uh, island and this group, and we are the leaders, and so we need to make these determinations as to what's acceptable and what is not.
Yes, that would be a great idea when you start hearing his accent start to come back a little bit. That would be a great boon for us to establish what is the right way of doing things and what is the wrong way of doing things.
Does anybody else have any Kongol and Nil?
Like, are you proposing a new type of law, new type of policy? Some kind of new
I mean,
precedent?
the acquisition of the snail shells obviously is the topic of discussion, and these creatures are, while neutral creatures, they are creatures like any other animal. These are rare and in some ways noble creatures, and especially uh, to my deity. And I can tell you personally that this did not sit well with Habakkuk. Um, our
It-
not to hold the island hostage, but our
Either-
continued success here may be determined upon our activities as a group.
Well,
I
then,
believe this judgment may fall on more than just myself.
So you're looking at proposing was essentially a protected species roster.
well, we just propose we only hunt out of necessity.
Pretty
And
much.
is
We'll also
wealth
make sure we don't run out of food
is
from
wealth
wild
a
game.
necessity?
No, as long as you don't keep the dumb elf around.
Kill just
Ra-
snickers
Raise
to
your
that.
hands if you want to excommunicado him.
I
Kill-
don't
Just saying, Kongol has punched him before.
I will stand, oddly enough, I will stand up for the elf. I don't mean for him to be removed from the party. I just think that as a group we need to establish our rules, and I think as a governing body, as we've somehow set ourselves up in that role, can maybe set some legal restrictions. People on different we are a people made up of many nations here, to steal from pop culture.
We're people
uh
made up of individuals from different cultures and different ideals, is what you're
right,
saying.
People made of people.
and we need to determine what ideals we are going to allow and disallow. So I don't think that it's a matter of of simply removing a potential companion, because we all are all different, and I don't think that anyone holds the blame on this. Where what's his name? What's Matt's
Elendel.
character? Where Elendil is from, that
Neil.
is perhaps an acceptable way of life. It doesn't line up with my own feelings, and I understand that. So I will tentatively go along with whatever decision is made here.
Key question would then become, what would you use to punish or persuade them to follow said policy?
Well, if they want to remain, they need to abide by our policy, and if they choose to not remain, then they can go their way.
So you mean if they do not uphold the policy, they are excommunicated?
At least while they're here. I mean, if he wants to go back to his homeland and hunt snails to his heart's content, he's more than welcome to do that. Just not when I'm there.
That is fair enough.
So I'm speaking up for him in that I'm not saying that we kick him out of the party. I'm just saying that
No,
we set as we are the pseudo leaders of the party, we set some rules.
We set an example
not
and
saying
rules.
we have to kick him out of the party.
We should just keep some
Tired
rope
of-
on hand at all time.
Tired of cleaning up his messes.
Or having
I
stuff
fear-
shoved up your butt.
I fear that
You watch
if-
Golemov raise his hand as well. We have had our differences before. And yes, if we established a hierarchy of rules, it would probably be for our benefit to prevent further confusion
Meat puppets.
and tampering. You watch as he looks at Kongol, not with hatred. He's had time to settle over that. But the tampering with magics as well.
I had
It's-
forgotten about that.
A Luxdon never forgets.
You see the hint of a smoking jacket under his robe.
He's pulling it out slowly.
Superman in the corner.
I wasn't. My character wasn't there for that. Well, I may have been, but I wasn't there in spirit. So.
Yeah.
You're kind
I
of.
was
your eyes were
glazed
glossed over.
over. I think
He's posing in the corners.
because I have a suspicion that my deity wouldn't have been very happy about that either.
Your
No.
deity wouldn't have been happy at all about what was going on in that temple. Has to suffice to say.
Same goes for Helm.
Oh yeah, no. Tristan was about one step away from a crusade. He would have probably actually joined up with the paladins and burning down that whole fucking temple.
Yeah.
Heretics!
In hindsight, they don't have to burn it down; it collapsed.
That is true. After you
So
killed
you
the
did them a favor,
avatar there.
That's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Anyways, continue.
But, especially since we have seen the after effects of the arcane, I say that in future we take a more academic approach when we encounter any rituals or anything like that. There can be devastating side effects. Some can be harmful to us, some can be harmful to others.
Kill just starts remembering back then, and he, and that scream from that child, still won't leave his mind.
Should I write a legal precedent for this one?
That's up to y'all on that one. but that's just Golomov's two cents. But the reason I bring that up is we have had moments where we did not agree. And I also, yes, the meat puppet is a very blatant, no desecration of the dead. For any
Kill
reason.
nods to that one, and not to interrupt him.
If we are going to set these principles, we need to live by them. If we want to be those who show the better way and act in a better way, in a more noble way, we need to become those people.
To build a better world, you must live by your own example and your own rules, so that others may follow it. Into that, a world is born.
Wise words, Sir Meadowstrider, Father of the Year. And you watch as he actually gets a smile.
You dog, you.
Kill just raises his eyebrow.
Gammon opens his coat, and instead of sugar sticks, he pulls out some cigars and passes them around.
Everyone takes one, except for Morgana. She just waves it off. But congratulations, Sir Metastrida. I'm happy to hear you are blessed with a bundle of joy. I'm not exactly sure how centaur children are, but
Think
It'll just
of
be in the
your
background.
child and, I guess, multiply him by at least 3.
Speaking of
that's
which, is he bouncing off the walls yet?
They
he's
weren't
actually.
sugar, there was straight cocaine.
You did hear some running down the hallway, but y'all kind of ignored it.
Ah!
He's just running down the arm with his arms fully outstretched, completely smashed over his spine, going, yeah! Yeah!
You hear him run down the hall. It
I
runs
am
into
the
the wall.
architect of fate.
I am the juggernaut! You just hear a loud thump, followed by, I'm not the juggernaut.
You watch his wife Ubot excuses herself to go and assist the rampaging child high on pixie sticks.
I picture him sitting out there, just completely wild-eyed with like bits of sugar draining out of his nose.
Just eat it, not snort it, kid. He's inventing new ways to eat sugar. To consume sugar.
You get more of the buzz if you do it up your nose.
All right. So, to end off the session, you have 2 jobs to take. You can pick one. One's in the Osmond City States and one's in the Earthen Monarchy.
I glance at Kongol. Are you interested in a trip to your homeland?
No, but if you wish to go, I will.
Kong will suddenly turn into a tsundere.
Baka.
What was the other offer? It was a request for goods.
No,
Escort.
to assist in the acquisition of goods.
It just
so
sounds like piracy with extra steps.
Well, in a sense, you're pretty much buying goods to sell someplace
The
else.
surprising part, it's actually on the Osmond City States mainland.
So what, we're dealing with a dragon that's in human form.
Dragon
That-
waifus! Nothing, new thing I can add.
We don't know that yet.
Mr.
You'll know when
Gammon.
you actually go and talk to the person who's offering the contract.
Mr. Gammon.
Same with the Earthen Monarchy thing. You'll know
Mhm.
what it is. All you know is that, hey, they want you to go on an expedition with them to go into a dwarven taiga.
Part of me thinks the Earth and Monarchy one would be interesting.
It sounds more dangerous, but it also sounds more legal.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It
not the
will
first
come
time
with
we've
a degree of
stole and
danger.
killed.
And I really like, as the
He
voice
just
in our
straight up
head
warns the
just
party.
said, we should probably talk to the people that are offering the contract, but I really don't want to piss off the Azapan city-states. So
Same,
Who
especially.
said the acquisition of goods wasn't legal?
right, and so we have to talk to the guy to find out. But my point is if it's not legal, I don't want to do something to piss off the Azapan city-states. So
Uh-huh.
I think I'd maybe rather be I'd be more willing to risk my
Next,
life for some dungeon crawling than for
All
pissing
right.
off our neighbor. But that's my vote. So
after Gammon saying that, Kill does ponder that it could be legal, could not. That killing something that's in a targ might be more beneficial. And we also might get some contracts out of it with the Monarchy.
more fame and renown.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Also, to end off today's session, congratulations, you're all level 6.
Ooh.
Yay!
Nice.
Um.
What happens at level 6?
So Congo will kind of relay that he went up the mountain.
Oh yeah, that's true. Kongol has a conversation moment to add to the
Yes.
pool.
I was patrolling, and after speaking with Chief Sotek,
Sotek.
I went up the mountain. There were several more caves that maybe this new militia could help explore. But at the very top, I had noticed that it is actually a dormant volcano.
Dun dun dun.
Ornaments. Hmm.
Yes, it sleeps for now, but maybe if there's some magical way to make sure it doesn't wake up. I've heard these things happen.
Hmm. Well, we would either need to go to the Monarchy or to the Elven Triumvirate. But
You have a druid.
that
Gammon
too.
says all the more reason to keep our the divine on our side.
That is true too.
But, well,
You did acquire a druid.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
I was just saying
He's
for
a
the
pretty spooky looking druid, but he's a druid.
He's not the one that you want to buy some herbs from, by the looks of them.
Hey, they might actually be really good herbs though.
True. Or they might just
So,
They just come
Oh,
in
yeah.
little Ziploc
out
bags.
of conversation, do the Earth and Monarchy dwarves like using lava?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just making sure before I blurt things out that I may not actually know.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you've seen some of the massive forge works that the dwarves have, and yeah, no, they will sit there and they actually have a sifting method for magma where they can get precious metals from it.
sink or swim, son. But
So-
Dad, I can't swim through that. That's Elven talk I hear from
But
ya.
since even a dormant volcano may still have lava deep in the earth, if we find it, we could have a natural forge on the island.
That is true.
It depends on that's some other things, but yeah, no,
But
it
that
could
is,
be,
we would
could
have
be,
to ask other sources.
yeah, but yeah, you have a druid. He could actually tell you how the land feels. But yes, there are more cave systems in the mine. I mean, essentially, yes, this island is essentially like Hawaii,
Hawaii.
formed from a volcano.
Mm.
Hence why the land's really good and you can grow on it.
Yeah.
For now.
At least we didn't name it
Oh, you haven't even named it.
You haven't even named it or your company.
At
Y'all are
least
still
we
unnamed.
haven't named the island Pompeii.
Yeah.
The island
Yeah.
is just called Island.
Yeah, the island is Island.
For now.
Hell, you could probably even name it your headquarters.
Even the headquarters would still have a name for it, though. The location.
You just haven't named them yet. But with that, we end today's
Island
session.
Fates?
But you're all level 6.
Yay.
The
Woohoo!
All right, you can stop the recording.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this stream for the night. I wish you all a good evening, and may the holidays suit you well. But always, may the dice rolls be always in your favor. Good night, and good luck.